Hi there, welcome to Joshi'ing Around Weekly, a podcast in which we will discuss the most important shows, the best matches and the hottest topics in Japanese women's pro wrestling on a weekly basis. I'm Tim.
And I'm Eric.
And welcome to the show. Hello everyone, and welcome to episode 29 of Joshi'ing Around Weekly. This podcast is a part of the Social Suplex Podcast Network, a network dedicated to bring you the best coverage from all over the world, including Keeping It Strong Style, the Trish and Sarah Wrestling Podcast, One Nation Radio, Tunnel Talk, All Things Elite, MCAEW Adventure, Wrestling Art with Chris Things, and the AEW Match Guide. We also release the Social Suplex newsletter once a month that gives you in-depth coverage from promotions all over the world, the best coverage in all of wrestling media, and you can find it on socialsuplex.com. If you have any questions for our podcast or for us, you can join the Social Suplex Discord, where you can find Eric and me. Today is Monday, April 27th. And we have on our agenda, of course, the big STARDOM All-Star Grand Queendom show. And if we have any time left after that, we are going to go through the Marigold Korakuen show, the Tokyo Joshi Pro show from Shinjuku Face, before we enter the Indie Zone. Where Eric is going to lead us through the Sendai Girls shows from April 19 and April 25th. The Marvelous Show from April 26, the Oz Academy Show from April 26, maybe. Ice Ribbon Show from April 26. 01 Rose from April 25. And the Fortune Dream Freeway from April 16th. After that, we're going to have our quick previews and the match of the week. All right. Hey, hello. Hi, David. How are you?
Hey, I'm doing well. You're not introducing me to the people, just a straight hey. How you doing, David?
Thought it would be a fun bit. Yes, we have a special guest today also. It is the returning David. His third time on the pod, I think.
Yep, third time now.
Yeah, including the awards. Yeah.
Yes, including the Christmas show. But also, we have, of course, Eric coming to us, tuning into the show from Tokyo, Japan. Eric, what's going on?
Hey, yeah, I'm ill, but that's okay. And it's also 4 a.m. But, so I guess apologies in advance for any lack of quality in analysis or takes. They say when you have a sore throat, the best thing to do is to rest your voice, but it's All-Star Grand Queendom, so...
Well, I was ill the last couple of weeks. Now it's you. It's just going to be every week now between us, probably. Huh, yeah. Maybe.
It's nice of you to. It's really nice of you to slum it with some filthy gaijin. I know how you feel about us when you're in Japan, Eric. So.
Yeah, no, you guys are the good gaijins. Yeah, not some of the bad ones I maybe have experienced here in some shows.
Oh my lord. I heard some stories already. Doesn't sound the most, yeah.
No, well. If you guys are going to go to Japan, just be respectful. You don't need to do your American chants. You don't need to chant chimpo, which means dick in Japanese. You don't need to shout out that you recognize the segments of the show just because, oh, look at you. You follow the product. You know what this segment's called and shout it out in English. You can just call your wrestler names. That's the fun part. Just try blend in.
Try and blend in. Absolutely. How was your flight and everything? You good? Except for the illness, you're good?
Yeah, no, the direct flight was really good. I flew on JAL, that's Japanese Airlines, right? Japan Airlines, I guess it's called.
I think so.
I would recommend that for anyone flying. And I thought the flights would be expensive, but they're really not in Golden Week. They're way cheaper than Christmas. Christmas is the fucking expensive one. So,
all right.
No, it's been good so far. As soon as I landed, I went to the hotel, dropped off my luggage, and then went to TGPW, which we'll talk about later. I think today is the first day of rest I've had since I got here, like 4 days ago. And now I'm ill. So,
damn. Hope you're gonna get over it. You got some medicine.
I bought so much different shit I went to a pharmacy and they don't know what paracetamol is. I even showed the katakana. They just don't know what that is. I think it's called something different here. Assess something, whatever, some chemistry name, who cares? Then I went to the convenience store because they sell a bunch of stuff, and I just bought random boxes that had a throat image on them because like, that's kind of what I need. One of them was a fucking syrup or something, and then when I translated it when I got back, it said it had like 2,000 milligrams of carrots. I'm like, what the fuck is that?
Carrots.
So I didn't have any of that. There's another one which is like droplets that taste minty, and you're supposed to combine them with water. Still got no clue what that does. And then the third thing I bought was more conventional, which was just Vicks tablets. So I've been taking those only and drinking orange juice.
Right. Yeah, I mean, that's kind of what I did the 2 times I was ill in Japan, but
yeah, and I have a mask now,
kind of
so
always.
That's good.
Okay. That's awesome. We have a little bit of housekeeping to do, right, about our podcast. This will be our last episode until May 12th.
Oh God, you gave me a heart attack then. What was that? you can't take the pause there. Come on.
Yeah, so the thing is, I'm gonna be away for 3, maybe 4 days next week. I'm not gonna be able to watch basically any wrestling, and also Eric is still gonna be in Japan, and obviously we weren't gonna skip the All-Star Grand Queendom review episode. But as you might already get the feel, the recording from Japan to Europe is not the greatest timing wise.
It blows.
And like, what?
I said it sucks. Sorry.
Yeah, and also
Case in point.
Eric is case in point. There's a bit of a lag going on here. So Eric is also sitting in a hotel and he can't like talk loudly and stuff. So we just called next week off. We're gonna take like, I think it's actually our first. No, we skipped a week in Japan as well, I guess. Or 2. We actually skipped 2 weeks when we were in Japan, right? Okay. So yeah, I'm sorry. Next week is gonna be no podcast, but we will be back on May 12th. Well, we will be recording on May 12th, I think. So the podcast will be back on May 13th, maybe. So yeah, I hope you all get over that one week break, and I hope we will too. So after this, do we have anything more? How are you doing, David?
Well, I'm doing. You know, I'm actually doing really well. I've had an incredibly stressful year, as you guys know. I'm studying to finally finish my qualification as a lawyer at the same time as doing my day job, which is intense because no one else everyone else on the course are rich. Oh, sorry, there are some regular people. Most of the people on the course are very rich people who don't need to have a job to study. So there's a lot of pressure. And anyone who listened to the Christmas special will know that I had trouble dividing by 0, but I did get the top marks in my class for solicitors' accounts. So, you know, I can add up somewhat. But on the good side, two things. One, I'm having fun with all the wrestling. And Eric knows this, but some fun news. I can now announce, because it's safe time, that my wife's pregnant, and we're having a surprise baby. We don't know which, but so that's been like really joyous news. I got to see the ultra scan and hear the heartbeat, which was incredible. So that's put me in an incredible mood. And the other thing, less serious and much more silly, All-Star Grand Queendom has put me in a really great mood, which I'll expand upon later. So I'll leave it there.
Oh hell yeah, that's awesome. Congratulations to
David. Which one was better?
Not yet. But.
Was it All-Star Grand Queendom or knowing that you're about to have a kid?
Well, the kid part has had a lot of I'm sure other parents listening will know, has had a lot of it takes a lot of trying. So it's more like a relief when you get to that stage and nothing bad's happened. Whereas All-Star Grand Queendom, actually I was going to say later, but I was saying now a funny story just in relation to it. So last night, my wife like elbowed me at 4 a.m. and she's like, oh, you're like tossing and turning, you okay? And I was like, I tried to play it off and be cool, like, oh, it's just this heat today, it's too much, I can't sleep. But no, really, I was thinking about Sire and Sayaka's match. So yeah, I'm hyped up by it.
Hell yeah,
that's amazing. Yeah,
and very late.
So, should we just get right into it?
Do it.
What
Just
do you
go.
guys think? Just go.
Let's go.
Just go. It was All-Star Grand Queendom, Stardom's biggest show of the year. It took place in Yokohama Arena in front of 8,014 people and one Eric.
One me.
So 8,015 in total. What do you guys think about this attendance? It's not bad, I reckon.
I don't think much. David, what do you think?
Well, there's certain numbers that matter, right? 1 million a week, 10,000. It's if it's not a round number, I just don't appreciate it. It's alien to me. It's like leaving the volume on the TV on like 7 or something.
Yeah, who does? Wait, do you do that? You don't do that, right?
No, I don't do that.
Okay, thank God. Tim, do you do that?
The volume on 7.
Yeah, it has to be round numbers only.
I don't deal with TV volume, but I,
okay.
Eric, you've seen my alarm clocks, right?
Oh my. Okay, but I do the same thing, so.
So I guess I like odd numbers too.
Okay. All right, let me talk about the attendance for a little bit. Okay, I kind of lied a little bit. So I actually don't know if we'll be able to convey how insane this number is actually. I think we could talk about it for an hour, which we're not going to, maybe, and it still wouldn't do it justice. I think there's a few things here. I think, firstly, it's kind of proof that they managed to transfer the drawing power from Tam to Saya. I think we've spoken about this before, like is Saya Kamitani a draw, blah, blah, blah. Where it was like kind of difficult to provide like statistical proof that she was a draw, right? Because, the Korokans and all that stuff like that. Like we knew she was a soft draw, but we didn't know the answer to, is she a Tetsuya Naito level draw? Can she move like thousands of tickets for a big show, like that level of draw? And I think the answer is yes now. And that is what I got from this show. I think this one wasn't just about the hotness of the promotion, because even a scorching hot promotion with no draws is not beating its all-time record with a wrestler with 2 years experience in the main event. That's not going to happen. So I think this can be put down to Saya's drawing power, like a large part of it, to be honest. Then there's another aspect where I don't think anyone, even smart fans, were predicting them to beat the career versus title match of one of Stardom's biggest draws ever in Tam Nakano. That is the most insane part to me, I think. Like, if you predicted it, you need to post receipts, because I don't think there's anyone that would have predicted 8,000 with this main event. So that's also incredible. Go on.
Apparently, our friend and last week's guest, Chris Whitehead, claims he predicted 7,800, so above last year's numbers. But
yeah,
I haven't
seen
receipts. The receipts. He needs to post receipts for sure.
Yeah. I do think that, so even though we've said how much of an amazing number it is, I think I'm going to put my foot out there and say I still think a Starlight Kid mask versus title match would have drawn more. And the reason I want to say that is because I do still believe that, even knowing this number, and I kind of just want to be consistent and say that like this attendance didn't like change my view on that, I guess. Do you guys think that, before I move on to my last point?
I mean, I don't know for certain. Obviously, we don't. But I'm not. I don't have that. A lot of people have that mindset where one outcome disproves another, even though it hasn't happened. And I don't take that at all. I think that's entirely plausible. I think it could have done better. Could have done the same. I doubt it would have. I suppose it could have done less. But no, I think that's a completely valid point of view myself. And I think they are holding that match off probably for a reason.
Yes.
So
exactly. Yeah.
I think that's a completely fair point, but also I wouldn't use the hypothetical to take away to like us necessarily
not
assume it would be
doing that,
better
yeah,
because
yeah.
no, I know you're not, but I know some people would because that's like a common internet style argument.
Yeah, that's crazy.
So I think you have to give them credit for what they've done, which is incredible. And I think you can still speculate would they have done better if you switch the white belt challenger, switch the red belt challenger. I think it's definitely possible, but I mean what they've achieved is incredible. I can go on a bit more, but you asked a question, so I'll let Tim have a go.
Yeah, well, I don't really think in these like hypotheticals either. Like, I'm not gonna see this number and start to like fantasize how they like didn't put their best foot forward or whatever and could have done even more. Like I think it's insane what they did, and like whether they could have done more with like the ultimate perfect match, that's whatever to me. I do think it's an interesting question. What is the biggest stake for the fans? Whether it's the existence of the Cosmic Angels or the mask of Starlight Kid, because both these entities are like incredibly popular to the Stardom audience. Cosmic Angels is like the most popular faction in Japan, I think, especially now that Los Ingobernables don't exist anymore. I think Cosmic Angels like have firmly like the number one spot there, but also Starlight Kid, and I think her mask is playing a big part of her like what makes her special to the audience. Of course, her incredible wrestling as well, but her mask is kind of iconic, and that on the line would be. I think it's really close. What would be more of a draw, I guess. As a wrestling match, obviously Starlight Kid would be like probably the bigger draw because she's just the more established wrestler and one of the best wrestlers in the world. And Sayaka Kurara just literally entered the stage, so it's hard to tell. But I don't even like, that's not any kind of argument I would even make in like, in regards to this number,
The point of it was that I don't even think this was like their full blown like max power card, and they still did their all time record.
Yeah.
So I guess I'm kind of making that point. That is, it's even more insane that they did this number with the card they constructed. Like this number can like never ever be explained away. Like it's not like a one time career on the line gimmick. I don't think the Cosmic Angels disbandment gimmick is drawing the same as a TAM career gimmick. And so I don't think the gimmick was like to fully explain for this number. It's not Tam Nakano, who we know is the biggest draw ever in history. It's not one of the most stacked cards of all time. In fact, people, not us, were saying it wasn't a strong card at all. It wasn't like a critically acclaimed build that exploded virally like Tam and Saya. As David pointed out elsewhere, it wasn't outsiders like Suri and Hashimoto coming in. It was like
no
totally authentic
at all.
Yeah, exactly. No special attractions. I mean, you can't call Megan Bain a special attraction, please. Don't like, no one do that. So it was a totally authentic card with a TAM Law main event. So the thing I wanted to finish with is that is their bona fide successful drawing strategy. It's what the fans want. Stardom's main event booking is TAM Law. That's their official strategy, and it's successful. So if you want on board, it might be time to listen to the Indie Zone for alternative promotions, because this is what Stardom is, and the Japanese fans can't get enough. And if you don't like TAM Law or the Indies, you're probably just fucked.
I do want to clarify, basically. I didn't mean to say that Saya wasn't the draw here. I think obviously Saya is like the big draw, but
that was
like
my first point.
For a stipulation, like it's the question was basically SAK's mask versus Cosmic Angels still like as the second part of the match, But
no,
yeah,
my first point
obviously.
was, Saya is a big time draw, is my main conclusion from this number.
Yes. No, I totally agree.
I was also just going to add that, like, because obviously, like, who's a big draw, who's the biggest draw is like kind of arbitrary. It is important to the promotions, but it doesn't hugely matter. I always view it as like, I mean, she presumably may get the title back again in the future, but like if you look at Saya's reign, in terms of like, she took a company that was already in rude health when she became the standard bearer for the whole promotion and the lead promotional vehicle for the promotion in the mainstream, and she's left it in a even stronger position than a strong position she found it in. So that's I don't think you can really take that away from her. Like whether she's like individual match for match the best draw, it doesn't really matter. She's more than done the job that she was supposed to do as the kind of face of the company, I guess.
You nailed it.
Absolutely.
Cheers.
Yeah, I agree. And I do think if you think about like just how do I phrase this? If you think about the draw or the main success of a promotion, like transferring from one wrestler to another, as in how Tam transferred her overness, her popularity in Japan onto Saya with her retirement, and like the whole build to it, like just Tam putting her over and over again. I think it's hard to find any kind of comparison to that in wrestling history. Maybe like when has a retirement made the following star? Like when has a retirement of the most popular wrestler a promotion has probably ever had made the following star even more popular than this wrestler was? Like that's a very rare thing, and I think they just they achieved that wonderfully with how they did everything from Tam's retirement road to her putting Saya over one last time at last year's All-Star Grand Queendom, and then how they just continued Saya's success from there with all the mainstream attention and everything around that. So what do you guys think about?
Well, I was just going to say I'd say a really good point actually, because there's two things that not always, but often happen when the top face retires, particularly. One is that you can have resentment to the person who takes over, and that's really hard to avoid. And that doesn't appear to have happened, or at least they've channeled it into heat, which is great. And the other thing is you just have a generation of fans who check out. Like in this case, it'd be that's my idol, but in other times that's my guy, or like my heroes checked out, and they just slowly fade out of watching wrestling. And with the Japanese culture of being very pick a favorite orientated and follow them, you'd have expected there to be a huge possibility of that with Tam leaving, and it's gone completely the opposite way. So that whether it's her, probably is her work of translating the narrative onto Saya, but that's worked incredibly effectively. I don't know if it's a model that can be replicated very easily or not, but it's amazing achievement.
Yeah, I think that's what makes it special, because it was a story told over 7 years, I guess, from the very start of Saya Kamitani's beginning. And that's just, as you said, that's not easy to replicate ever. So I don't know. It's a very unique thing in wrestling history, I reckon. And I can attest to that, because I was one of those people briefly, if only for like 2 or 3 weeks, but I was about to check out because my special guy retired, but I found my way back in. So I think a lot of people did. Or evidently they did. So do you think the addition of Fuwa-chan added a couple of people to this number too?
Definitely added a couple, because I saw some Fuwa-chan superfans, like literally in cosplay. When Fuwa-chan was like cleaning the ring in between matches, these superfans were like screaming for her, and she just had to like shyly just wave at them. So there were just a few people.
I saw some pictures of them too. Yeah, sorry.
Yeah, I was posting around those pictures of her little fan club, Fluffy Girl fan club that follow around. But there's at least, in the pictures, there's at least 30 of them. So there's presumably more who don't post themselves online. So it's definitely, she's definitely making a difference, and hopefully she converts some of them into wrestling fans. We can never be sure with that, but I think she is a major factor, actually, a major minor factor, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I think I get what you mean, and I totally agree. And she proved herself too. We're gonna get to that later. I think if we're done with the discussion about the attendance, I would just start with.
There's one more thing I want to say, actually.
All right.
Because I just want to make it clear that if you see anyone downplaying this number or like not talking a lot about it or say anything except how incredible it is, all you need to know is that their opinions need to be discounted. I'm issuing a fatwa. I'm joking. But like you need to. People should be recognizing this as a mind-blowing attendance. It's like a requirement before providing any sort of analysis on any promotion, full stop. Like, if a publication only gives it 2 sentences, you need to understand that they don't follow or care about all of the biggest news in wrestling. Unlike us at Social Suplex, of course. So,
I did see, I think people in our channel, plug for our Discord channel, were discussing this earlier too, like how many promotions drew similar number to this, like just in Japan generally, and especially women's promotion. It's like, yeah, it's back to 1995, basically 1994 maybe. I mean, that was last year already.
Yeah, that was last year already. Yeah.
Still, this year again, and yeah, it's like DDT drew like 10K in the when Kenny Omega and Ibushi were like in the main event. That was apparently a really big deal in 2010 back or 2012, don't remember exactly. So that you can also say the Muto retirement drew a lot of people for Noah. I think those were joint shows with New Japan too. I'm some of them at least. I guess it's up there. It's up there in the last decade of like overall non-New Japan promotions for like the highest drawn crowd in a while. So I
feel like
it's good.
Also, I just need to. I know I said this, but I just want to emphasize that this is not their strongest card, and it was an insane main event. Like that is the biggest part of this attendance. We're not just saying they did their all time. They did their all time against all expectations, putting Sayaka Kurara in the main event. There is nothing else like this in wrestling. Full stop.
Well, I mean, the top three babyface acts on the card are Sayaka, Hanan, and then O2 Line, which is as you say, it's almost it isn't because they drew fantastically well, but it's like it's almost, if you're doing it on paper, almost is the weakest in the sense of like name, exactly, established name level. Yeah, no, it's obviously not the weakest because it worked.
Well, because out of Cosmic Angels, you'd probably put Poyo Saori there. We know they draw. Out of, Stars is Stars, I guess, whatever. But Hanan hasn't shown any drawing chops whatsoever. And then from Neogen, it's Starlight Kid, right? So yeah, and they were just lower down the. It's just an insane number in context. That's the thing I want to drive home, I guess.
If you want to make a comparison, it would be if you're not familiar with Joshi or Stardom or Japanese promotions, even it would be if AEW last year at All In put I don't know, maybe Nick Wayne against Jon Moxley in the main event of All In the Texas Stadium, and they did the same number. You know what I mean?
Yeah. No, seriously, we'll get to it, but in February, when Sayaka Kurara came out, she was not getting a response, like a red belt level challenger response. There was muted response. People were kind of confused, when she first came out. Mm-hmm. It would literally be heating up Nick Wayne over 2 months, and then people go crazy that Nick Wayne beat the Death Riders.
It's kind of what it is. All right. So, should we get into the show then?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. I figure we start with the main event, as Eric already mentioned. It was, I think, I think it was Marigold star Sama Kimatami defending the World of Stardom title against Sayaka Kurara. And as Eric just spoiled in his analysis, we have a new World of Stardom champion after 14 months. No, I'm stupid. 16 months. 16 months, right? Sayaka Kurara, a quasi rookie, beat the greatest champion maybe Stardom ever had. Not from a title reign perspective. Io Shirai had a stronger or longer or bigger title reign in the 2010s, but most certainly from a from a drawing, from a spectacle, from a maybe even from a match quality perspective, maybe the greatest Red Belt champion Stardom has ever had, and maybe the most important reign Stardom has ever had. And yeah, Sayaka Kurara ended it to save the Cosmic Angels. So, should we let our guest speak first on it? I think he was very happy with it.
Yeah, well, as a giant Saya fan, as you know, I'm actually very happy with the result. But because we obviously start with macro thoughts, I wanted to, and I imagine we'll have a lot of different things to pick up on. But the thing that struck me most about it, and I thought was really beautiful, was obviously in the build-up we had Sayaka, as Tim recapped a couple of times, talking about how to use black, how to incorporate it, and I thought that element of the story played out throughout the match. And just to explain my thinking. So obviously, the beginning of the match, Sayaka comes out completely draped in white, like the very vision of Tam's avenging angel, basically. And like in the early portion of the match, she's effectively imitating Tam. She's literally running through her spots, and it's not working. Saya's like cutting off everything because obviously she knows all the counters. She's beaten Tam. And what I really liked is that as the match progressed, in my opinion, this is my reading of it, Sayaka there were signs when she got more and more frustrated and a bit more aggressive. And there's that great bit that I liked in the corner where Saya's trying to little bro her with all the elbows and twisting it back on her, but Sayaka just won't let her. And she gives her the big stare down afterwards, and just kind of Saya's the one who blinks. And of course, the way I kind of read it, especially building into the end where she wins with the Firebird Splash, 450 Splash Saya's move, that she's kind of taken the best, the kind of the goodness of Tam and some of Saya's blackness, like all their very spirits, and combine them together to beat Saya. So in a sense, she surpassed Tam because she did what Tam couldn't do. She beat Saya Kamitani, and she's very literally beaten Saya by defeating her in the main event. So I just love that. To me, that was the bringing together of the two elements, the dark and the white, and that she's kind of combined her two, as you put it, grandmother and mother, her two proteges, to kind of, at least in kayfabe, surpass them. I thought that's how I read the story and how it played out to me, and I thought that was, I found that really touching. So I really like that. But I don't know if you guys might have a different take. That's how I read it. I have some other points, but I'll go with that as my main point.
I feel like we should just fucking wrap it up here. I mean, yeah, that was a good idea getting David on this podcast. I think I couldn't put it any better myself, to be honest.
Yes. Yeah, that's incredible. Yeah, I thought, like, obviously there were a ton of callbacks. I think this match was a really rewarding match for fans who are just who have been following the story since basically, like, I don't know, at least 2 years ago, because there were so many callbacks to even Tam and Saya, to that feud. Obviously, like, the entire early going of the match was a giant callback to the Tam retirement match. And I actually noted down at that spot that you just mentioned, David, in the corner when Sayaka threw her this, like, incredibly, like, dominant look all of a sudden. Like, that is a side we haven't seen from Sayaka like this before. I felt like to me during this match, Sayaka grew as a performer in a way, maybe even as a human, like in this way more confident, way more comfortable wrestler overall. Like I don't know, she was still a bit timid. She looked pretty at peace with herself, even before the match, when they had like the standoff with the belt and all that. But like in the early goings of the match, you could still see like the rookie Sayaka in there, kind of. But like the more and more the match went on, the more like sure of herself and like secure she felt, to me, just as a performer, and in her demeanor and in her mannerisms. Like everything like came together for her during this match. Somehow that's kind of how I felt during that bit. Eric, you were there live. Do you want to give your first impressions, overall
I'm
impressions?
trying really hard not to repeat stuff this podcast because it's 3 people and we're going to go forever. And I think you guys said it perfectly about the storyline. And I think David had something else about the story. So I kind of want you guys to finish up about the story, and then we can talk about individual spots and booking, what else or not.
Oh, well, I was going to say my second point wasn't really about the story. It was just like another macro take. But I will say, building on what Tim said, there is like a really nice mix in the match of kind of, as you say, a lot of kind of not nervousness, but like there were, softer elements to her performance and work intentionally, I think, earlier on. But then also like these wonderfully hyper aggressive moments like that the force with which she like spears Saya in the back at one stage is just was just fantastic. It's like not giving her a second to breathe. But the second kind of macro point I was going to make, because it doesn't really fit into like talking about particular spots, is that I thought from a world champion top draw perspective, I struggle to think of a more giving performance from a top star in this position. Obviously, putting over someone like Sayaka, like we just saw MJF put over Darby Allin, obviously, but like this was like the entire but I mean it does happen. I'm just saying it's not like no one ever puts over someone like Cena's less.
Yeah, okay.
But it was that final, I think almost like the entire second half. She's just letting herself get in kayfabe, like absolutely walloped. She's like being beaten at every punch. She's like barely clinging on. She's like every opportunity she has to show that Sayaka's like better than her, she's letting her do it, while still telling the story that she's, you're having to climb this mountain. But like her, and then obviously there's the performance aspect with like the incredible bumping and like the way she's like throwing herself dementedly around for each of these spears. But I just can't think of a top performer. Like maybe Ric Flair, but then his whole shtick was you beat him up the whole match and then he cheats to win. Whereas this was just like completely laying out to put the other person over, like relying on cheating, and even that's backfiring. And I couldn't think of a more giving top performance from a top star to someone of this level on the card ever, really. Not that springs into my head.
I feel like there was this clear switch in the match where Saya started off like obviously dominating Sayaka and like not even really taking her seriously, like kind of playing with her food in a way. And like during the match, like as you said, for the second half of the match, that they kind of switched over to like Saya not winning the match anymore, but fighting to survive, just trying to stay in there in a way. Fighting not to lose the match instead of like clearly having the upper hand and fighting like she's winning easily. So yeah, I think that was wonderfully done by Saya to to flip that switch somewhere in the middle. It was really good.
She also got more desperate, right? Like when she tries to do the Twilight Dream, the same move that obviously ended Tam's career. And I like that Sayaka didn't kick out that. Like she was protected by Sariano, right? Like Sari broke up the pin. And I guess the point on using Black a bit, or like Saya becoming more desperate, the interference spots in this match were absolutely incredible. They were amazing. And I think sometimes we don't give enough credit to when interference is done correctly, because I don't know why, it's just a thing in, I don't want to say Western, but like there tends to be like a negative bias towards hating interference. In the building, everyone loved that interference. And what I mean by that is each interference spot induced like a bigger crowd response than the last, and like the investment from the crowd was like permanently increased for like the rest of the fight, right? That is perfect interference. Because this is how my brain works, I kind of thought about it like in a maths way. I don't know if you know what a step function is, but it just increases, like it has just randomly it just got like huge increases in the function randomly at different parts, and it just stays like at that level, and it was just absolute perfection. And it's kind of like the same as a TAM match in Korakuen in March 2025, which also had very good interference. No one does interference like hate, and they really nailed it. And I'm kind of sick of them not getting their flowers for how fucking good they are at their jobs. So
yeah.
Oh, by the way, I also said this in the Crimson Nightmare review, and it's relevant because David was on that podcast as well. The Konami versus Starlight Kid match also had really good interference. So I already knew they could do this type of interference, and I think this is their best ever.
I mean, it goes back to the March 3rd match last year. The loser leaves STARDOM match between Tam and Saya. That interference to me was also absolutely perfect. That happened in that match, I have one minor nitpick actually for the interference spot in this match, and it's got nothing to do with the way they did things. When Saori and Momo were still in the ring, right? Because Saori had to break up the pin for the Twilight Dream. Obviously, she had to be there. I just wish that for the TV, they would have switched to a different camera angle, so you couldn't see Saori and Momo staying in the ring the entire time. I think usually a ref should get rid of people in the ring before he even counts a pin, but that's like, I mean, obviously it's about the live aspect and the people in the arena see that they are in the ring anyway. So this is maybe a mood point I'm making, but I kind of wish if they shot that from a different perspective and Saori just flew in to break up the pin, that would have had an even greater effect probably. But yeah, that's maybe one minor nitpick. I don't, maybe that's the only one. I don't think there's much to nitpick about this match at all. One other point. Oh, you go, Dave.
Oh, sorry. Is your point also on the interference, or are you going to switch topic?
I was also going to talk about interference, yes.
Oh, keep going then, because mine is too, but I can say it afterwards in that case.
It is kind of, it is part of the interference, right? I don't know. It is kind of also an overall point I wanted to make is Aya Sakura. I think the overall story they built throughout the show is very important as well. Because if you think about it, Aya and Sayaka were the only two Cosmic Angels that were, spoiler for the review that's about to come, they were the only two Cosmic Angels who won their matches, who were successful. And Aya Sakura was also the Cosmic Angel who basically got rid of hate in the end, in the main event by herself with the big crossbody off the top onto like 18 hate members or however many there were out there. And when she landed, she let out this like fucking primal scream, which was then echoed immediately by Sayaka in the ring, who let out a primal scream herself. And that was such a beautiful moment to me. Like, Sakurara, like many suspected they were going to turn on each other. And this was like such a beautiful uniting moment for those two that really like gave me some goosebumps as well. And yeah, just Aya Sakura vanquishing, I guess the rest of hate by herself was really beautiful to me.
Can we just quickly on that? Can we give them some credit for injecting that tension throughout the past few months, starting since it wasn't even starting since when she put the disbandment match. It was actually before that. It was like when they were doing I think they were in Kobe in Aya Sakura's hometown, and Aya Sakura said she was going to win the Cinderella, and then she just looks at, Sayaka, and then Sayaka looks at her back. They deliberately injected this tension to make you think that, because nothing is by accident with these people. Like, we should learn that by now. And that paid off in this match, where you were like, will she, won't she? And she absolutely backed Sayaka 100%. Like, all of the backstage interviews where she was kind of quiet, she wasn't sure about the stipulation, they did a payoff here, and that was like a C sub story, right? Like, that's not even like one of the main like threads, and they still had it. Like, they just have all of these different threads come together at once, and it's really difficult to do that, and they nailed it.
Well, I should probably add, sorry, one more small little thing. I should probably add that I'm not trying to shit on people who expected Aya to turn on her, because that's what they wanted. That's the story they told. So obviously Aya turning on Sayaka was always in play because how they did that whole thing. Sorry, David, you go.
No, I was just, to be honest, I was just going to relay the interference into what you spoke about earlier, which is just how rewarding I found this match. And I think the interference plays into that, because the way I'd describe it is that essentially, like, if you just watch the big pay-per-views, this rewarded you for doing that. If you watch all of the main shows and some of the tour shows, you get rewarded for that. If you're following the blogs or you listen to a Joshi podcast that reviews Saya's entire book for you, you get rewarded for that. Because I think everything just played together so well that like, no matter what your level of engagement, there were like Easter eggs for you at that level, and you could be fully fulfilled, and you can be, and the deeper you dive, the more you get out of it. And as you say, I thought, Eric, you might bring this up, that the one piece of interference that backfired for either team was, of course, Momo, Saya's long-term arch frenemy is the one who's the only one who actively hurt her in the match. So there's like a little layer in there on top of that as well. But that's again, that only really matters if you're reading her book. But some people are.
I mean, I think that's going to be massive. That's not just a small point. I think that's the most important part about the interference, maybe. But yeah, Eric.
No, I was going to say, isn't that fucking perfect storytelling where you have like an entry level?
Yes.
Like, even if you know nothing, you would probably come away from this match thinking, yeah, this is a fucking sick match. This is a great match. If you know nothing. And then the more you know, the more you get out of it. Like, to be able to deliver that like artistic or creative vision, I can't even like put over how insane it is that they can achieve that. And I genuinely think there is not another promotion in the world or like a group of people in the world that are delivering that sort of creative.
Oh yeah, and I should say to what Tim was just saying there, like when I talk about the Momo thing being a micro detail, it is a major detail in that like if you're a new viewer, you'll be viewing it as obviously Momo's going to be in big trouble with Saya here. And of course, if you've watched the previous pay-per-view, you'll be thinking, they faced off, so there is some tension there. But of course, if you're following how Queen's Quest split up and everything like that, then it goes back a lot longer than that. But as I say, that's more just what I meant. I called it micro because, as I say, if you're at the book reading level, then it's like really deep. But you can just be literally like, this is huge, huge on a new, fresh character level just watching the match. So yeah, that's more what I meant. I didn't mean to underplay that as an event in the match.
It might lead to something bigger. Like, if this leads to the implosion of hate, then it's absolutely like a huge detail of the match. So if it doesn't, then it's more of a minor thing. You're right, yeah.
Just because we're still talking about, like, I guess, like the general storyline, I also find it insane. Like, it's a perfect, coherent told story because it paid off years of like background, like we've been talking about, like Tam and Saya built up, right? But they kickstarted the Sayaka storyline a month after. No, I think it was like a few days after Tam retired, right? That's when Sayaka challenged for the red belt in May 2025, right? So
I think she challenged.
Slight correction. I was going to say, I would say it started when Saya tried to get her to go to her side.
In February, in 2025.
Oh, you said. Oh, so sorry. You said February. I thought you meant. Yeah.
No. You're correct. No. That was a correct correction. You're correct. It started even before.
She actually started whispering in her ear, like I think towards the end of 2024 already. That's when Saya started to be in Sayaka's head. Trying to get into it.
It's even better. Thank you for the corrections. So they kickstarted this like while Tam was still there, and then obviously they had the red belt match in May 2025 after Tam retired. It was obviously dormant for a bit, I guess, like, and then they renewed it this February when Sayaka came out, right? But the fact that this feud, I guess, has been like passed down to like different generations, and this one thread of a storyline has like single-handedly drawn, I guess, now over almost 16,000 people at Yokohama Arena across 2 shows, which is unheard of for Joshi wrestling. And now Sayaka has her turn to continue to establish that lore. Like, she could establish this with like Aya Sakura within the same generation if she wants to, and Kamitani can just do her hate implosion or whatever. She can just like stick around and she can inject life into this feud if she needs to be. But the point is, like, the Tam, or whatever you want to call it, it's not only managed to like draw money, but also left each iteration like bigger stars than before. How is that like not one of the most successful storylines of all time? Right?
Yeah, absolutely. Also, one point I actually wanted to make with my interference bit earlier is like I also viewed that as a beautiful like changing of guards inside the Cosmic Angels. Not only that Aya Sakura vanquished the evil force and Sayaka in the end won the match, but also like the whole thing I mentioned earlier that they were the only 2 Cosmic Angels that actually won their matches on this show. Yeah, I think they kind of like really like played this beautifully. That like I'm not one of those guys who want to speak a Natsupoi stepping back into existence in any way, but like they kind of beautifully like just changed the guards into Aya Sakura and Sayaka Kurara slowly. I mean, Sayaka Kurara, not slowly, she's been catapulted up there, but like those 2 are gonna be the future of the Cosmic Angels, and they're gonna lead it like successfully, probably more successfully than fucking Natsupoi and Saori did over the last year, because that wasn't very fruitful for the unit.
Because David, were you going to say something else on like interference or anything? Because Tim just brought up something that I want to talk about.
No, go for it.
Okay, because you mentioned not quickly with Sayaka, and I just wanted to say, like, this is a rocket push. Okay, this is the best booking of like a young, inexperienced wrestler we have seen in ages. I don't have the historical background, so I would say, since I've been watching, it's definitely the best. It's not even close, but maybe there's some like weird, obscure example that I don't know about. But it's the best booking that I've seen of young talent ever. And I doubted them on the Cinderella finals. I'm on record talking about my doubts. I thought it was a huge risk, and I didn't like the storyline they were going with Sayaka. I kind of thought it was better to just do the underdog stuff. But they launch her up the card by killing Sai with a violet screwdriver. They made me look stupid. Their booking was so good that I didn't anticipate that booking could be this good. I didn't even know you could book this well, so now I'm just like never going to doubt them ever again. Like the crowd went from being confused and unsure on the 7th of February to like full-throated support at the biggest show of the year. There was a super Saya Kamitani fan sitting right next to me, and he absolutely died at the finish, which we'll talk about. To go from that in February to the whole arena chanting for you and going crazy at that finish, that is an insane rocket push and the most successful example I can think of. And it's also doing things differently, right? So like we could have seen the Sayaka underdog story over the next 2 to 3 years play out. Like we all know how that would go. It'd be predictable, but it'd be fun. Sayaka slowly built herself up. She finally beat Saya, feel good moment, blah, blah, blah. And then Okada and Tam Nakano are kind of just like, nah, let's just pull the fucking trigger. And that's what good bookers do sometimes. So I just wanted to talk about it from that angle as well.
I was going to say, shall I go? Do you mind?
You go.
Because you're talking about things that like you've not seen before, it hasn't happened before. I was trying to think, have we ever had, this is going to be a weird way of phrasing it, but like such a strong, weak champion before? Because she is just like super decisive, like ultra decisive, as I was saying, beaten the top champion, like absolutely blown her off the park. But the previous 3 months, we've kind of established that she's like in a rut of form against pretty much everyone else. So
it's crazy.
I can't think of anything like that, because you have like not the top person win the top belt. That does happen, but like this is so different from that because she's won so strong and she's been so vulnerable for so long. So I don't actually find it easy to predict what they'll do with a character next. I just don't know. I can't think of a comparison to that. But again, someone listening is probably screaming something at home.
I mean, they can scream, but like that's why I thought the match was. I mean, so the match was fucking incredible that it even changed your perception of Sayaka Kurara from like the entrance, which we'll talk about. That entrance was fucking incredible, to actually how she won the match. Like after the match, you're thinking, oh, she's a credible red belt champion. What the fuck? How can a match like do that? That's insane.
I was actually thinking as like examples, as like comparisons. If you look across the aisle, Callum Newman.
I knew you were going to say
How
this.
do you think this compares? What?
No, I actually have one of my notes about you mentioning Callum and Darby last episode.
Okay.
Like it is not even in the same fucking stratosphere. This was a coherent told story paying off years and years of background that Tam and Sai built up, and Callum and Darby. Like you can say the Darby things years and years. Like, I mean, I'm just not going to talk more about that. That's fine.
You know what? I've come up with a better comparison. Not saying Callum's a bad comparison, because he is similar, but he's in such a weak title environment. In terms of Yota's newly established, everyone's newly established. I think but again, he's an older wrestler, so that doesn't compare. But maybe Sanada would be the best comparison, because he was completely on a losing streak for, I think, for almost was it like 6 months or something? And then he won the New Japan Cup with a new finishing move he invented. That was the story. And then he beat Naito, right? And then he went undefeated.
Okada.
It was Okada. Oh, yeah, that's even better.
Pretty sure it was Okada, yeah.
Because Okada's much more of a one-to-one with what Sai's been doing. And then, obviously went on like a tear undefeated. But obviously that didn't work. That pretty much didn't work that well. But I just meant he's the nearest comparison, to be honest. But I just meant in terms of like where they were in terms of their win-loss record,
I get
and like
what
their
you
perception. And then they got on for so strong. Right? I don't mean to
feel
cursor.
Don't jinx it. I just feel this this is just way more significant. Obviously, it was like, what was that, Wrestling Dontaku or whatever when Sanada won? This would be like someone at the Dome, you know, a big title change at the Dome comparably. This was Stardom's big show. This was the culminating big thing. Like neither Newman's nor Sanada's title win really felt that like epic or like just strong and like pivotal for the whole company in a way.
It's the creative. I feel like the difference is the creative. Like this felt incredibly creatively fulfilling because they deliberately built this to pay off in that way, and I don't think like those other examples have that strong creative backing them.
I did also want to talk about that. The creative fulfilling build to this, because like I don't wanna like toot my own horn or whatever. But I was seemingly the only person in the world who predicted Sayaka to win. But once she actually did it, I was actually kind of surprised myself, but in the same moment it kind of snapped for me and was kind of like, of course they would do it. Like, why the fuck would they not do that? Why would they even book this match if they wouldn't do it?
In hindsight,
that all of a sudden made zero sense to me that they even would do this match if they wouldn't do this title change. So in that moment, all of a sudden it was so clear to me that they had to do this title change. But like, I was like, obviously last week I did predict her and I did stand behind my prediction, but like, I wasn't sure at all. Like, I was still like, I just rooted, I wanted it to happen. But like, in my mind, in the back of my mind, I was still like, there's no way, right? There's no way they're doing it. But like once it happened, immediately everything made sense to me that they just had to make it happen. I don't know how you guys felt about that.
I have kind of the reverse, in that previously, I'm not knowing what the match was. This is what I've been predicting all along. So I think when I came on Crimson Nightmare, when me and Eric were debating should Saya have lost then, my whole argument was that they would do a big downfall of Saya, big downfall of Hate, probably at All-Star Grand Queendom or Tokyo Dome. But I don't know if that was a possibility at the time in Tokyo Dome. And then obviously I did the Dream Queendom review of Social Suplex, and my whole thing was like, oh, this is so transparently setting up them getting swept at All-Star Grand Queendom. And I had that view that's been my view the whole time. But it like reverse worked on me because they picked Sayaka, not Kid.
Exactly.
My entire psychology on it flipped, because in my head, like while I was watching the match, like a good halfway through, because I kind of recognized psychology. I was like, oh yeah, Sayaka's winning this. So I was still like, wow, at the finish, but I was like, this is now what I'm fully expecting. But I had talked myself out of my own position in the week or two or whatever building up, because it's such an not unexpected challenge, because it makes perfect sense in the storyline, but it's still hard to believe. So I kind of, they kind of worked me out of me feeling like I knew what was going to happen.
That is a big part of it for me too, because like this big downfall of Hate, we all predicted that, right? We basically called that show the downfall of Hate before, when we previewed it. And like, if Saya retained, that would have made this whole downfall of Hate theme so much weaker. If they just lost like tag belts and the white belt, but the main belt still stays with them, it wouldn't have worked, like even as the theme of the show. Like I don't know why we didn't, like why so many people were staying on like everyone in Hate's gonna lose but Saya. But then like, no, might as well just have nobody in Hate lose if like the main villain is still standing. Like that's just, I don't know. Like in the moment, I didn't really think like that either in our previews, but like when it happened, it was also clear to me they had to do this. I don't know. What did you think, Eric?
Well, it's literally what David said, because it was Sayaka. It kind of reverse mindfucked us all, because we're smart fans and we're like, there's no way they're doing that. But all of the creative points to them doing that. So
yeah,
I'll tell you one thing that right before the match that did start, like whatever percentage I was on, I was still leaning Saya when the match started, but I did move substantially more towards the middle when Saya did the super hubristic thing of starting to name all of who her defenses were going to be against up to 15, and I was like, that's like, whenever heels do that, you're gonna lose. But I still when the bell rang at the very beginning, I was still assuming Saya was going to win, so they got me for sure.
All right. Should we even like go through the. We talked about this match for like an hour now before even getting into anything in the match.
We haven't
We went through that.
talked about like 2 moves.
Yeah, I think we can
Talked about the
talk about
interference.
I
Sorry.
want to talk about the entrances because they were absolutely breathtaking and incredible. I popped so hard for both of them. They were absolutely goosebump inducing. And you know how, maybe some listeners obviously don't know this, but one of our listeners, Velke, he was at All-Star Grand Queendom last year, and they spoke about Saya Kamatani's entrance being like the best in wrestling and how unforgettable it was. And I think it's really hard to convey without seeing those entrances in person. Like Sumo Hall was cool, which we were at like in December, but the stage like wasn't a big one. Like we saw Saya Kamatani's entrance. Seeing these on a massive stage is like something else. Sayaka Kurara's entrance is the best entrance I've seen in my entire life. I liked it more than Saya Kamatani's one. And
the sparklers was so cool. Sorry.
I can't even put into words how I felt when she came out. I did kind of spoil you guys in the live chat because I couldn't contain it. I was like, guys, you need to look at the screen because I knew she'd be coming out. I was just so excited when I was like, that's a fucking star. Like that is a star entrance. And I was like, oh my God, they did it. They pulled off the look perfectly. The sparklers. I love her music as well. I need to find her music and put it on Spotify. But no, Sayaka's my number one entrance in my life, and Saya Kamatani's was number 2 here. And that's how you set the stage for a big match. I just want to go back because it's relevant. My general thoughts on this pay-per-view were I was struggling a lot with tiredness. Like part of the, well, now I know it's because I'm ill. Yeah.
Sorry.
So part of the undercard were like nice matches, but they didn't do much for me. And when this match happened, like when the entrances came out, I was like, this is All-Star Grand Queendom. That is the immediate feeling I got. Before I was like, okay, this is like a nice start and pay-per-view. I'm enjoying myself. I'm having fun. But when those entrances happened, I was like, this is the fucking biggest show of the year. So I just want to give them credit for pulling that off, that feeling, because that is what got the whole crowd into it. As soon as Sayaka's music stopped, literally my entire section, which were fucking silent all night, literally no, like barely any calls from people near me. And these are like the most expensive seats, right? Like, well, the people in front of me paid like 250k yen or some fucking crazy shit. They're actually the quietest fans for some reason. I don't know why. But when Sayaka's music stopped, literally immediately, Kurara chants, like Kurara calls for her immediately. I was like, oh shit, okay. Kurara is over. Everyone's into this match. So, yeah.
Awesome.
Just wanted to say that.
Maybe because they're the rich folks. Maybe the rich folks aren't going wild, you know. Maybe they.
Yeah, I don't know. It was kind of weird.
Letting their inner animal out for those shows. I don't know.
Well, I was just going to say that I thought the entrances were freaking incredible too. But I prefer Saya's personally. Just the music drop before her actual reveal of her. Well, we're getting a lot of camera work, which I think the camera work for Saya's entrance was freaking
insane.
Oh yeah,
it was hard for me to see
crazy.
Stuff.
Yeah, like the timing of things, the fire, everything. I just thought it was incredible. And as I was going to say, like one of my notes was like, I thought her entrance, and Sayaka's was great too, but I thought Saya's entrance was like better than any All-In WrestleMania whatever anniversary entrance I've ever seen. I thought it was the best.
It's not even close.
Because it was, but there was like there was no stupid pageantry to it. It was all in the character. Like obviously you got flamethrowers that are gigantic and firing in 3 different directions, but just it was all the acting, the framing, and the shooting from the team. And one reason, and I'll give you another reason why I put Saya's above Sayaka's slightly. Did you see what Sayaka was doing during Saya's entrance while she was watching it, Eric? Did you see that in the building?
I mean, I was looking at her. I didn't notice anything. What was she doing?
So we got a lovely shot of the side of Sayaka's face while Saya's making her entrance, and Sayaka is moved to tears. Like gulping and crying, which is an incredible visual. So it's worth watching that on the.
Oh, that's amazing.
If you do go back, I'm not saying that makes it bad. They're both great entrances, but I just thought that was made it extra special, and that's part of Sayaka helping her Saya's entrance too. To be fair, I will say one super nitpick. I really liked the weapons that Tam brings to the ring. I would have preferred Sayaka to have a weapon that was somewhat plausibly a real weapon. I didn't like the spear point. I liked the concept of having a staff spear thing.
Well, I always preferred the. Yeah, sorry. I always preferred the is it called a halberd that Tam had like early on? Not early on, in the middle of her career, let's say. she then at some point switched it to this like huge magic staff with like the butterfly thing at the top or whatever. And that's more like what Sayaka modeled hers after. But I did like that she did her own thing. She didn't just like take an old Tom thing, and she basically she did, but in her own style, I think. And she didn't like switch to Tom's colors or whatever. She kept her teal. She's like, she really likes the light blue, and everything was light blue, and that's cool. She didn't go like full I'm the new Tom. She kind of kept her style, but like leveled it up to like Tom's level in a way. So that's cool with me. I do agree that the weapon looked a bit over the top, maybe. Well,
but it's a minor point.
Sorry?
You guys are just shitting all over my love of the entrance.
Nah, I loved it too. Yeah, I loved the roar that went through the crowd too when Sayaka first stepped on stage in her new costume and everything, and like the crowd was just so hyped for it. It was so good. I got goosebumps.
So how do we go through? Because I feel like we spoke about the story of the match. So, I mean, like David eloquently put it together, like near the start of our review. So I feel like we don't maybe need to go over like the story. Maybe just talk about some spots we really loved, or
yeah, that's what I would have done. Just mention some things I really adored. But
oh, sorry. You know what? I would be completely remiss if I didn't make one more point about the entrance, because this was something that I think we can all agree on was super dumb. But you might not have noticed this live, Eric. Because the entrances are incredible. I was going to mention the video package. Well, that was incredible too. But obviously, height of tension, dramatic looks, stare down, everything's going great. They bring in the president of Fruity Jackpot to stand with them and hold a giant Fruity Jackpot check.
That's funny.
But I kind of loved it too, because I don't want to be laughing in the middle of such a serious thing. But I was like, could it be any other sponsor? Could it have just been like a generic car company or something? Why was it that?
But, well, they gotta make that money.
They do.
All right.
Sorry,
did you watch
proceed.
anything back on tape, Eric?
No, I kind of just refuse to do that always.
I always do that as well. I was just thinking, like with the camera work for Sayaka Mitani's entrance, you didn't get to see that.
Yeah,
that was actually really excellent. Like that was sick. I agree with David there wholeheartedly.
Sorry, can I do one more quick free match point?
Yes,
because Eric couldn't raise this because he probably wouldn't have seen it. Maybe they showed it in the arena. But I did think it was really cool. And again, another thing that I don't know if another promotion would do is that in that video package, which was really good, that showed you the whole story and Sayaka getting more confident and talking about her art and all of that stuff. But I thought it was really interesting. They chose to include like her giant botch at the last pay-per-view where she slips off the top rope.
That upset me.
Oh, you didn't like that? I thought that was like, because they're showing that journey of her, like, is she actually ready? Is she actually serious? Like at that stage, I thought that was quite bold. But I mean, I thought it was a bold choice, an interesting choice, and I liked it. But I can also see that's like a crazy, but it's also objectively a crazy thing to put in a video package.
They did it before too. I saw another video package like leading up to All-Star Grand Queendom. I don't know when that was. Like it was just like an advertisement or whatever, and they just put the fucking botch front and center into that fucking thing. And I was like, why are you doing this?
But I think it's to show that she's like. Yeah, like that she might not be ready. Like I think that was the idea. But
maybe. That's actually a good point, yeah.
But again, it's such a bold choice. Like, that's what I mean. I can see why you would think that's the worst thing ever to do. But I thought it was interesting.
I was upset in real time, but yeah, it was kind of funny actually too. I don't know. Right. Shall we get into the match?
I mean, just general themes of the match. I guess I just wanted to say for Sayaka, she's just a really good wrestler. As in, like, there's like a lot of basic things that she does really well. That I was like noting down. There was a springboard sling blade. Like just those little things. Did you see a missile drop kick? And it's just like these are such simple moves, but the velocity she does them with and how dynamic she looks doing them just really pops me, I guess. So just wanted to note down my favorite one of those in that school of moves was when she had the rear naked choke on Saya, right? And then she did like a fucking judo takedown while keeping the sleep hold on.
That was incredible.
So
that was going to be my big spot I wanted to talk about. Yeah.
Okay, I don't know if you guys heard it, but I mean, probably. But in the arena, people thought she was like legit hurt or something. Like they were going fucking crazy for that spot. People immediately started chanting for Kamitani, like as soon as that spot happened, because that's kind of what Japanese fans do, right? When someone's in a struggle, they chant for the person in the struggle if they're popular, and Kamitani is very popular. So immediately, huge chants for Kamitani. That was an amazing submission spot.
But that's another one of those spots again where I think it shows her like becoming a killer in a way that, I mean, no offense to him, but in that Tam's not a killer. Like that was so brutal. That's the kind of thing she had to do to win, and like it's nasty, right? It's a nasty move. So
I actually wanted to mention this earlier when you made that point, but I decided to keep it when we when you go through the match. Yeah, that's exactly what you described earlier, right? When she yanked her back into the. I do have this down. I think this is the best like sleeper hold sequence or whatever you want to call it I've ever seen. Maybe that whole thing, like from start to finish, like she yanked her back twice into the middle of the ring during that when Saya kind of got to her feet and was going towards the ropes the first time. She yanked her back into the middle of the ring. And then when Saya was close again, then she did this fucking crazy judo fucking throw right on Saya's head, which looked insane. And then was when Saya was going completely limp for a while, and the ref made like the check with the arms were completely limp and everything. But she kind of slowly went towards the rope. And I think she yanked her back a third time then, and it was so crazy. And
I was going to say, I couldn't remember if it was this match or the Konami match, but I think it's this one. Is this the one where they do the MMA leg block where the person in
Sayaka always does that, yeah.
Yeah, that was so good. Like she's trying to use her long leg to get to rope. She actually, like because normally wrestling, they do the legs are put in that position because that's where they're supposed to be, but they don't actually use them correctly. I thought it was so cool to block the reach for the ropes with the leg. I thought that was incredible.
Yeah, Sayaka already did that in the Tomoka Inaba match, which was so incredible when she always blocked Tomoka's legs from getting towards the ropes with her own legs. Like wrestlers usually don't do that. That's like the way you're supposed to get to the ropes, but like Sayaka just doesn't wrestle like a typical wrestler who like does typical wrestling things. I don't know. It's hard to describe, but this was, I'm pretty sure this was the greatest sleeper hold spot I've ever seen in my life. The whole thing.
Well, it's not hard to describe. Like she's explained why. It's because she didn't grow up on wrestling. That's why she has all of these basic moves, and she deliberately tried to master them. And we're going to talk about the finish, by the way. Like we're going to talk about the finish when we get there. But that's why she does these things so well, because she doesn't have that like ingrained training or whatever else. Also, just going back to the submission spot, you said it's like one of the best rear naked choke ones. You remember when we spoke about the Yuki Arai Mi Watanabe Scorpion Deathlock on the Grand Princess? And I was like, that was an amazing submission spot because of like how the crowd reacted to it. And it was such a long submission spot, but it worked. And that's really difficult to do. And they nailed it. This was exactly the same. Like in the arena, I was thinking back to that Miyu submission spot, and I was like, this is either the same or better than that spot. So yeah. The
crowd was swelling, right? While this hold was going on, the rear naked was going on.
They were getting louder the longer it was on.
Yes, It was so good. Loved it. That was maybe my spot of the match even. Like, I loved it so much that the rear naked.
This one I started going caps lock, so yeah.
So I'd love that spot too. In the watching it, I was like, oh man, if this wasn't the main event of the biggest show of the year, I'd be like, this should be the bloody finish. Let's go. But you can't not have the last 10 minutes.
Yeah. What did you guys think of the Avalanche Star Crusher kick out?
I think it worked because Saya was so exhausted at that point already that she took like 10 seconds almost before she even made the cover. So from that perspective, I didn't mind Sayaka kicking out of that one too.
And it's established in canon that the jumping off the second rope is less powerful than spinning in a circle. So
that's true.
Seriously, that's the point. So they didn't do a single spinny Star Crusher, And I
Yeah,
kind of
that's
like that
true.
because it's protecting the bit, right? The gimmick of, the spinning one. But also, it kind of made you bite that the incoming, like the Avalanche Star Crusher could be a finish. The fact that we hadn't seen a spinning one, I kind of thought, like, oh, okay, they're just doing like a Super Avalanche one instead rather than the spinny one for whatever reason. And then, when they didn't get the pin, I was like, oh, okay. But I did pop big for the Star Crusher because I thought it was like an important move. And so did the crowd. So I really liked the way they did that.
Absolutely. I think it also like added just to the drama of the match because like the things Kurara kicked out of, right? She kicked out of the Avalanche Star Crusher, and then when she also kicked out of her like Kamigoye kick, I don't know what it's called, which is like also one of Saya's like super weapons in a way. That's one when. Sorry?
I was just going to say that in the character acting of the match, that really messed with Saya's confidence as well. That's one of the ones where she started flipping out.
That's what I was just gonna say. Yeah, that's when she really got desperate. That's also when she decided to do the Twilight Dream Tom's move, right? That was the moment. You could literally like tell how desperate Saya looked after that, and like how she came to the decision that she just needs to do Tom's move now, which ultimately kind of led to her end in a way, which is also very poetic. Although she did pull it off, the Twilight Dream. So after a while, like Kurara fought for a while, and then she, in the end, Momo hit her with the bat, right? Yeah, exactly. That's what happened. And then Saya did the Twilight Dream. That's when Saori broke up the pin. And I think that was a good decision because it would have been too much, I think. If Kurara kicked out of the Kamigoye kick into the Twilight Dream, into a baseball bat shot into the Twilight Dream, and kicked out of that would have been too much. That would have been way over the top. That had to be like a different way out of there, because like I think people would have turned on the match at that point too if she kicked out of that as well. So I thought that was a great decision that Saori was there in the ring to break the pin in time.
Yeah, and the other thing I wanted to point out was the Tokimeki Falcon Arrow earlier in the match, which was a Falcon Arrow. I think everyone was sort of expecting the screwdriver. It was like Saya hit one of the amazing spin kicks. By the way, she has a great spin kick, and then Kurara, hit the spear, and then afterwards there was a Tokimeki Falcon Arrow, and I think people around me were sort of expecting the screwdriver because as she like lifts her up, like you could just see people around me just going but it wasn't.
You could hear the crowd swell too on
yes,
TV.
And then which is by the way why that March 15th Violet screwdriver that she killed Saya with was so good. Like no, that was like. Because it's for moments like this, it's for a payoff like this. And then the second one, so after you just mentioned the Twilight Dream kick out, that's when she did hit a Violet screwdriver. And it was a lot safer than the one on Cinderella Finals, much, much safer. Yeah. But it was the Violet screwdriver. Like even the match reports were calling it the Violet screwdriver and everything like that. But because it looked safer, it kind of came off looking like a Falcon Arrow. But I thought
it was almost like a mix, like in between both a little bit, but... Yeah. More on the side of a screwdriver, I guess.
Canonically, I think it's a Violet screwdriver, though.
Yeah.
But maybe they didn't execute it, but I thought the kick out was really good. Like, Saya kicked out literally at the last second. I thought that was amazing.
Absolutely.
I was just going to say, I just wanted to, because you guys are going towards the end of the match, I just wanted to shout out some stuff in the middle, basically. Because I thought, like, obviously as a fan, I know she's not always the tightest worker, but I thought this is like the most on I've ever seen Saya in a match. And there was like a sequence where for the first time in her entire title reign, they finally had the camera in the right place for her zombie bridge up when Sayaka's on the top rope. And she does this sequence of which she does do in a few matches, but I've never seen her do it this fast and this vicious. She did like the Frankensteiner off the top rope into a brutal running Yakuza kick. I think they're Northern Lights, and that sets up Sayaka. I don't think she does a no-sell, but she like gets super angry and then does the spear in Saya's back and then the spear in the front. And they just go. I think they go off on a whole crazy sequence off of that. But I've never seen like Saya moves fast, but that like I've not seen her moving this fast and this crisp. Because like we'll talk about Fortune Dream later, where Saya's like she's like kind of a bit crazy, all over the place most of the time.
Yeah,
but, like I thought she was like super accurate in this match. And I did want to say there is one. I will say a couple of like critiques because I'm sure people will be like, "We love this too much." So the one is, and this isn't a critique. This is just an accident. Like when Sayaka did her dive to the outside, she nearly did the EO Sky land on your head thing because she super tilted downwards, and that was quite scary watching on TV. I don't know if that picked up live. And the other one, the only real like bad is too strong, but like not good point of the match I thought was. Saya does the pump kick and hits Sayaka no cells, which is fine. And then Saya's screaming in her face and it's the exchanging slap spot. And I really thought Saori must have been sitting there at ringside thinking hit her properly, you know. I didn't like the patty cakey slaps. That was the only down point. So I wanted to highlight something really good and then just for balance, that is one spot where I was just like, come on, Sayaka, just knock her teeth out.
Those were the Tam slaps. Those were like the typical. That's how Tam always did. Like just the rhythm, like how she did them and kind of how it looked. That's very like typically how Tam always did. Yeah, Tam really hit her opponents is the difference, I guess. I agree. One nitpick I have is like right after that spot that you just mentioned with the two spears, when they did the third spear into that gets counted then into the Star Crusher, right? That was a bit too safe, maybe. Sayaka basically, you could really tell that Sayaka stopped on her own on the third spear to get into the Star Crusher position. And I mean, that's incredibly hard to do. And I didn't really mind it that much, but that is like the one nitpick I had for like the work in the match. Kind of that stood out to me. But I also wanted to mention that Yakuza kick you mentioned earlier. That was insane. That looked so good. I don't know if it came across in the arena like that, but on camera it looked so sick. Because Saya sort of slid into it too. Like her last step, she slid forwards and it looked so brutal. I don't know if that was on purpose or not. She also did it in the Fortune Dream. She also slid like that. So maybe that's just, she found a trick how to do that because that looks insanely good, I think. Yeah. What did you think of that, Eric?
Well, what's the Yakuza kick? Is it the big boot?
It's kind of the kick Julia does. Like you can do it not leaving the ground. It's kind of like a running big boot, but like Joshis tend to jump.
It's basically the Helluva kick, Sami Zayn. Do you know what he does? In the corner, the kick in the corner, yeah.
So it's like a running Yakuza kick in the corner, but because they're women, they tend to jump to hit them in the head a bit.
Okay.
Saya doesn't jump though.
I just want to talk about the finish, guys, if I'm honest.
Let's go.
It's like, it is the spot of the match. It's the
absolutely.
Fucking spot.
This is after the Violet Screwdriver, right? We continue from there.
Yeah, am I going first?
Yeah, yes. What do it look like live?
It is. Let me think. What moments have I been a part of? I don't even know anymore. I think this is the most insane live moment I've been a part of. I think,
Crazier than anything in the Dome?
Crazier than Aaron Wolf revealing his trunks?
I literally did compare it to the Aaron Wolf match. I think that's the only comparable thing for me. I actually have it in my... Actually, I've literally got this in my notes. I thought I couldn't put it into words, and I don't know if the tape will like ever do it justice, but it was like Aaron Wolf's judo takedowns in House of Torture. A bit like Miyu and Suzume at Korakuen. So when Suzume countered the teardrop into a cutter, and like the whole Korakuen Hall just jumps out of their seat. It was kind of like that, except this is 8,000 people or whatever. Literally no one could believe what had happened. And the thing is, like, it wasn't even the finish itself. It wasn't even the 450. Sorry, it wasn't the 3 count that got the pop, right? It was the 450. People had already popped for the 450 that barely anyone had any juice for the 3 count. So like maybe that's why like the count might come off a bit weaker, like for the pop for the count, because everyone had already blown their load on the fucking 450. After the 450, I was just... my mouth was open for several seconds after that, including the 3 count. I barely reacted to the 3 count. So I was like, she just hit a 450. And like I mentioned, the Kamitani superfan next to me he was like trying to like grab his phone quickly. He was like fucking panicking at what he had just seen. The guy next to me was like, he had his hands on his head and he hadn't reacted the entire show. Like, he wasn't on his phone. He was like silent, like a statue the entire show. This was the one spot that made him go crazy. And I think I just kind of wanted to point back to, do you remember when we were reviewing the book and Kamatani was talking about how she was spending time the day before like All-Star Grand Queendom 2023 practicing like the Phoenix Splash, and then she tore a ligament in her shoulder, right? And then she went on to wrestle anyway. And in my head, I just had the image of like Sayaka and Saya just practicing this 450 again and again. And Saya just kind of like mentoring her on how to do a safe move. Saya spoke so much in that book about why she added the Phoenix Splash into her repertoire, right? It's actually kind of the same reason that Sayaka needed something extra to stand out in the ring. Sayaka talks all the time about how basic her moveset is because she like didn't grow up being a wrestling fan. She talks about it like it's a strength, but if you mention it that much, there must be like some insecurity in that, right? The fact that you're talking about it so much. And Saya also had that insecurity about her moveset, right? She thought she was getting outshined by Utami. That's why she wanted something. And I kind of love the idea, even if it's headcanon, I don't know, that Saya probably shepherded her into doing like a safer move rather than a Phoenix Splash. Because she didn't do the Firebird Splash, Saya, right?
She did. When she got rid of the Phoenix Splash, Yes.
Okay, fine. So, but she didn't jump straight to the Phoenix Splash. Sayaka did, I guess. Maybe that's probably a step too much. But it was just kind of like very poetic that is what the title switch was done. It made it seem worth it. And it was like absolutely justified. Like there was like no questions about it once she hit that move. Like without that finish, if it was like a Tokimeki Spear or something, I have no idea if I'd feel the same about this match. Like this finish made it an all-timer match for me. It just did. I don't want her using the move again, by the way, until like next year's Yokohama Arena or something. Like I don't want her to beat Maki Ito with it. This should be like her super finisher, but just an insane finish.
Have you seen the magazine, the way they did it in the magazine, taking like one still of each like part of it? That's how they're, I think, is it Tokyo Sports did that? I can't remember which magazine.
I have not.
I haven't seen it.
It was really cool. It was their Twitter feed. So they like they did this like their cover images like, or their main story images like the 3 stages of the flip. It was really cool.
That's awesome.
And also I was going to say credit to her for landing it so clean.
It was
like
perfect.
it's like loads of wrestlers are like a few. And not to be a dick and criticize, but like in Marigold and stuff, you're seeing like people do really spectacular, cool high moves, but it's like quite sketchy, scary landings on a lot of them. Whereas this was, for someone like first time doing it on a televised show, absolutely perfect. And Saya did an amazing sell. Like she folded her body completely up like an accordion on impact as well. Because a lot of people just take a splash or do like an arm flop, but she did like a whole cataclysmic landing. It was great. I love the whole thing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I just opened my Twitter feed to look it up. I'm just seeing, first thing I see is Sayaka Kurara's entrance. It's so awesome. I actually like the spear now that I look at it again.
I loved it.
I think
you guys
it's
were really
cool.
harsh.
No, it's cool. Anyway, I agree. So for Saya, she actually did it the other way around. She first did the Phoenix Splash, and then when she had like 2 accidents, or was it after the first already? She kind of switched to the Firebird Splash because it's just safer, right? You see where you're jumping and stuff to avoid making more. Sorry,
I thought she always had both as moves, and it was more like a.
Did she?
Maybe. Yeah, I thought so. It's not like an A-B finisher thing, like the way that Sari beats people.
Oh, okay. Yeah, actually, now that I'm thinking about it, I think you're right. Okay, but when she dropped the Phoenix Splash, she still did the Firebird Splash. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, for a little bit. Yeah,
that's.
And then she started using the flash Hurricane Rana as a finish for a while, which was not so great.
Yeah, no. And then after the match, I want to talk about this as well. When they both, I thought, did you get any translations, Eric? I only got like.
Yeah, I've got all of them.
Yeah, I got pretty rough ones. I only saw like 2 sentences
to read them?
from what Saya said. If you want to, are they long? I don't know.
Nah, that's okay.
You can also summarize what they said or whatever.
That's okay. So Carrara says, Sayaka Carrara has beaten Saya Kamitani. Saya Kamitani, watching you achieve dream after dream, the kind of dreams nobody else thought were possible, the kind of dreams nobody even dared say out loud. Watching you do that gave me the courage to stand here with my head held high. Thank you. And then there were huge Kamitani chants. They were really, really loud, by the way. Super loud Kamitani chants. And then Saya responded saying, Saya-sama's red belt. I'm only lending it to you for a little while, so you better take good care of it. I'm coming to take it straight back. And
that's what I saw.
The whole crowd, yeah, that's what made the crowd laugh. And then Kamitani makes her way up the entrance ramp in tears, and the crowd sends her off with very loud applause. Then Sayaka Carrara says, let me say it again. I am your new World of Stardom champion, Sayaka Carrara. Professional wrestling has shown me that no matter how much people laugh at your dream, no matter how many people tell you it can never happen, if you say it out loud and chase it with everything you've got, dreams really do come true. And I proved that today. I love pro wrestling. I love Stardom with everything I have. Thank you so much. Obviously, that echoes her confidence throughout the entire build, saying everything will be okay. And then the same feathers, that were at the end of Tam Saya, they also start showering Sayaka, and then she looks at them, and does she grab one?
What
she grabbed one?
Yeah, I don't know if you saw it. It was easy for you to see in the arena. Like, she did this like great over the shoulder look of like complete serenity and wistfulness as well when the feathers are falling. Oh, well, that was incredible. Oh. But again, that was like more for the live broadcast, right?
She looked to the sky too, like she looked where Tam pointed last year. Basically, she didn't point there, but her eyes were there essentially.
Yeah, so I was already ready to cry. The moment I was going to cry was when she was leaving the ring. I don't know why. I was just like, fuck, it was just so perfect. She had a fight. Yeah. She had finally achieved everything. And it's kind of like a huge payoff. I was like, okay, I'm ready to cry, but I'm in public, so I'm not going to. So I kind of suppressed it. If I had watched that at home, I would 100% cried. And definitely at the feather thing you just mentioned. That would have set me off.
That is some extreme Britishness there. Well done.
Yeah.
Good repression.
Yeah, that was extremely beautiful. I didn't cry. I had the opposite effect on me. That's also like kind of like, where do I rank this match, right? How do I rank this match? I don't know. That's a tough one, to be honest. Because I wrote this down like the comparisons in a way, because I thought, for example, Saya SLK did have better wrestling in a way. Miyu and Suzume made me more emotional in the moment. Like, I was closer to crying during Miyu and Suzume. That's also because I was in the arena probably, and it like hit me so hard. Like, seeing Miyu sell like this, like fucking 2 meters in front of me was insane. That moved me to tears. But this match did, and like the Tanahashi retirement was like a once in a lifetime experience. I will never know how to rate that either. But like, what this match did to me was like, it made me smile. Just like, I had this fucking goofy ass grin on my face for like 2 or 3 hours after the match. Until my fucking face hurt, That's how I was fucking sitting there grinning the entire time. Like, and then nothing. That's rarer for me, I think, than crying or whatever. Like, nothing makes me smile for like 2 hours. That's crazy. Even like, these past few weeks, I've never really mentioned this on the podcast, but I've had like a rough time, not just physically, but also like emotionally in a way. I don't know. Had like just a really down period in a way. And like, this has made me so happy since it happened. And I had such a bright smile on my face the entire time, and like no bad thoughts. That it's just incredible what this match did for me and to me in a way. So yeah, I don't know how another match can achieve that, but that's beautiful. I think. I don't know. I have no idea how to do my match of the year list this year. It's gonna be fucking impossible.
Well, I was gonna say I've had very similar. Like, I don't know if happiness is the right word, but I've just been so elated in general following the show. And obviously I'm not as many like Discords and servers, and I know other people aren't assigned the show, but like our friend Gav from from various Discords and from All In, I've noticed he's been saying the same thing in various forums, that just like a overwhelming just a positive like a beam of positivity coming from this, which is very rare feeling among wrestling fans. So I find it hard to compare to anything else. I don't know how I rank it. But can I add one? Because I know this is kind of like wrapping up thoughts. I did want to add one thing, because again, Eric almost certainly wouldn't have seen this unless he found it on social media. I thought a really good compliment to Sayaka's end note with the feathers and stuff is I thought Saya's backstage, not necessarily the content of what she said, but her backstage interview I thought was incredible, because she like got herself down on the floor, and I've never seen her make herself look so small and like so weak, and like, because she's always very thin, but she like looked incredibly small and weak, like it was full Wicked Witch of the West has melted. And I just thought that was like like selling that the impact of having the red belt taken away from us, like literally like Samson without his hair, right? It just was remarkable. Like I presume it was a conscious choice, but it's just like she literally turned herself into a tiny, thin little ball. It was, like a completely different vision of her. So just another end note to go with the positive end note for Sayaka.
She was basically speechless. So she was like, my red belt, there was still so much I wanted to do with it. And right now, I can't find the words. But I will not let this be the end. That much I will say. And that's it. So quite short comments. Then we had Maki Ito. Maki Ito interrupted Sayaka Kurara's backstage comments. Sayaka Kurara was just saying the same thing she said in the ring, basically. Not much different. Just, Saya made dreams reality and I will too. I can't be Sayaka Mitani, but Sayaka Kurara will make Stardom even brighter, even more colourful, blah, blah, blah. Then Maki Ito arrived, offering a round of applause, and she's like, congrats, Sayaka Kurara. I knew you'd pull it off. Congrats. And then Kurara was like, oh, thank you very much, ... And then Ito's like, and now, Sayaka Kurara, the mastermind behind the villainous heel unit, Cosmic Angels, I, Maki Ito, must defeat you. Because Maki Ito is the light of Stardom, and the Ito Respect Army is the justice of Stardom. Let me challenge for that red belt of yours. And then Sayaka's like, Cosmic Angels isn't a villainous heel unit. Your eyes really are pitch black, aren't they? I think this is like a double meaning here. But that's fine. Now that I'm the World of Stardom champion, no matter how baffling a challenge may be, I will not turn away anyone who speaks of dreams, anyone who steps forward to challenge. No matter how much of a handful Maki Ito may be, as Cosmic Angels, I will defeat the villainous hill unit that is the Ito Respect Army. I will defeat you. Maki Ito, those pitch black eyes of yours, I'm going to fill them with colour. And then Ito's like, I will not allow the villainous hill unit Cosmic Angels have their way any further. Maki Ito is justice. Maki Ito's eyes are rainbow coloured. Kurara just finishes off saying, justice means something different to everyone, but I believe Cosmic Angels is justice. I will carry this belt down the path I believe in, prove it by fighting Maki Ito first, and even with all of this going on, I still love pro wrestling more than anything. Thank you. There you go. That's your next challenge in Nagoya, I believe, 23rd of May.
Can I just say, no matter how this match is gonna be, how good this match is gonna be from an in-ring quality standpoint, we're gonna see about that. But I think that's just kind of perfect booking, isn't it? The way Maki Ito went through the Cosmic Angels, like almost in the background in a way, through the entire year so far.
Makes total sense.
And now it makes total sense that she's arrived at like Sayaka as soon as she got the belt, and like Sayaka now finally can vanquish like the evil Maki Ito, who like called herself the kawaii, top kawaii of the company or whatever, when like Kurara's grandmother was obviously the top kawaii of the cosmos, and it's sacrilege to call yourself the most kawaii in Stardom. So that's just kind of very poetic for Sayaka to find it. And Maki did this so well too. Like she's such a force now, and for her first big thing in Stardom to put Sayaka over is just, it's just really well done, I think, from a booking standpoint. We'll see about the match.
Agree. All right, so we've done.
I'm sorry. I was just going to say, well, as you know, I'm not a big Maki guy, but I will say when she's right, she's right. I mean, the Despicable Cosmic Angels did clearly interfere, and especially that Sarianu, and stop Saya justly winning. So I'm all on board. Get rid of these villains. Someone's got to do it. Saya can do it. So maybe Maki.
Oh no!
So
we got a traitor in our rounds, Eric.
I think we spent over an hour on this one match.
We got 20 minutes to go through the rest of the cards. Are you guys ready?
Yeah, I guess just before we move on to the other cards, I guess I just want to talk about the Okada interview that he did after the show.
Okay. I didn't
just
even
really
know
quick.
he did that.
Yeah, so well, that's where the comments about him being unhappy about not hitting 10K came from. Obviously, you know, that's just the goals they have, and I think he's very happy with 8,000 still. Just to be clear, but Tim, you know, I think we are pretty good at this podcasting thing because I think last
People
week
say that.
on
I'm
our
still not
preview,
sure about them. Yeah.
yeah, in our preview, we mentioned about how an authentic Stardom card it was. David mentioned it as well recently. And Okada basically says that was the entire goal. Like he says regarding this event, the usual approach for a big match in women's professional wrestling, for a Stardom big match, he means show, is to bring in a diverse range of guests from legends to wrestlers from other promotions. But what we were most committed to this time was keeping things as much as possible to Stardom's regulars and our own roster. For the IWGP match, the nature of that title required us to bring in a major international name in Megan Bayne, but I believe we were able to fill every other match on the card entirely from within. With that, I want to take pride in the fact that we surpassed last year and keep pushing Stardom forward. So, you know, we noticed it in our preview and it was their deliberate strategy. So there you go.
All right. That's cool.
But on the other hand, have you considered the perspective that until they're fully made up of stars that weren't introduced by Rossi Agawa, it's really Ross's promotion, and therefore they shouldn't be celebrating much of anything?
True.
True. I'm glad I'm staying out of these places now where people are talking this stuff. Like, I'm glad I'm not reading any
sorry,
of it.
I shouldn't have assumed everyone knew that. That's a Rossi Agawa interview quote from about, was it 8 months ago? So,
oh shit! Yeah, now I remember. Okay, I kind of assumed that was also something someone said today, but
no, I'm sure people are saying it, but that always cracks me up when I think about that.
Yeah, that's right. Crazy.
Let's do it. Sakura versus Kiki Furusawa. Let's go.
I like this match.
Yeah, so I was stuck on a train going to Yokohama Arena.
Oh, right. So you didn't even see it.
No, I saw bits of it because I was very dedicated to wanting to watch parts of it. And every time I tuned in between me checking the maps, it looked really good. So, like, this is one of those matches I feel like I would have been high on if I saw all of it. But, yeah.
You missed the lighting failure as well.
What?
I was just saying,
missed the what?
Just saying, Eric missed the lighting failure as well. The house lights died in this one. They had to use the spotlight for the match. So
I didn't see that. Yeah,
the opportunity to sit in the dark. You didn't notice the lights turning on and off constantly throughout the match?
Oh, once I noticed it, but only once. Okay, no, you're right.
It's only a minor thing. It was just, it's just like I thought it was an ominous start that the lights were, first match of the big show and the lights are dying. Yes. I was like, oh no, but it all worked out all right, obviously.
Yeah, I mean, this was what you'd expect from this match. Aya has super cool kicks. Kikyo has super cool like submission transitions, I guess, into her ankle locks, and they just kind of kept countering each other. Like I don't know, Aya kept kicking her, Kikyo kept trying to submit her. And one thing I noticed is like everyone has scouted Kikyo's weird stretch muffler suplex now, and kind of counters it before she can do it. Aya here countered it into a cool kind of submission. I don't even know how she did that. That looked super smooth. But in the end, Aya defeated her with a German suplex, which meant the Cosmic Angels were 1-0, but I was 0-1 on my predictions. So, any more thoughts on this one?
Yeah, so I was just going to say just a couple of things. One, my favorite like in-ring wrestling spot to play, like maybe that's a bit strong, but like interesting. My spot I found the most interesting was in this match. I absolutely loved Kikyo countering Aya's high head kick with a low drop kick and like completely buckling her leg. I thought that was incredible. If you missed that, I'd recommend watching it back because I don't think that must have happened before in wrestling, but I don't think I've seen it. It just looked incredible. And then the other thing, I thought Aya's selling was amazing in this match. It's one of the reasons I like it, because I like wrestlers who are good at selling. And I thought the way she was like absolutely dying, but in a way that felt competitive and like a sportsman trying to survive. I thought that was fantastic, really putting Kikyo over for most of the match. And I will, of course, say, when I came on in November, I thought Kikyo was pretty hopeless. It was one of my first times watching one of her long matches, and I still think that was accurate at the time, but her improvement rate has been absolutely incredible. Like, she's tightened up everything, like movement, positioning, application of moves, how she gets into everything's improved tremendously. So full thumbs up from me.
No, you're right. Yeah, I thought this was really good.
Post-match? Quickly. Yeah, I'll probably do post-matches for everything, by the way.
Okay.
So Ai Sakura was basically running down Maki Ito and saying that it's more like a cult rather than a Gundam, because obviously Kikyo is part of Maki Ito's faction. And Sakura says that she wants to save Kikyo from the cult. So Sakura said that it's imperative that Kurara wins in the main event, so then they can save Kikyo. And she finishes saying that she will be waiting for Kikyo in Cosmic Angels.
That's cool, actually. I didn't know she said that. That's awesome. Anyway, second on the card, we had Matoi Hanabe and... Wait, I made a mistake here. What the hell?
Yes.
I wrote that Kikyo was in this match. That's not true.
Oh, Kyoka.
Kyoka, yeah, I made a typo. It's Kyoka Kotatsu and Matoi Hanabe. They defeated Akira Kurogane and Ane Kanaya in 6 minutes. This was kind of, this was kind of your vibes opener. It wasn't the opener, but like your vibes pre-show match. I don't know, just 6 minutes of like the rookies going out there and doing their best. Ane is always a joy to watch, and Matoi too. And in the end, Matoi got the win on her, which I found sort of surprising. I was hoping Ane was finally getting her first win here, and it looked like she did, or she would be at 1.2, but in the end it wasn't enough, unfortunately. Yeah, this was a lot of fun. What did you think?
David or Eric? I'll go.
Eric didn't see it, so.
Oh, sorry, I didn't know when I don't know when he gets to the building. So, so for this one, yeah, similar. I thought they had a lot of fun in the time they had, especially at the beginning, kind of trolling each other about who would get to start, and I think it was Akira, and because Akira won on her side, like she forced herself into the ring, whereas like Matoi gave like Kyoka like a really patronizing and hard backslap and forced her into the ring. So like, I enjoyed that little dynamic. My main real takeaway, other than that, I really enjoyed Matoi's like over the shoulder judo throw into an armbar finisher, is that I like Matoi's work and I think she's promising. I just wondered, do you guys have a sense of what type of wrestler she is, or like what her lane or shtick is? Because that's one thing I don't know, and I'm not saying that's a criticism. I just wondered if it's something that's played out in tour shows that maybe I've missed. But I still don't have a good feel for like you know how like in this match, obviously Akira and Ane have like very defined wrestling styles almost from the get go. Do you have a sense of what Matoi is, or like where she'd fit?
Well, I think she has kind of this this shooter style in a way. She's going for like submissions and kicks. I think she has kind of a God-sized style, you know what I mean? Which for some reason is a reason why I hope she doesn't go to God's Eye, because she would just be another one.
Yeah.
In 13 of the same types of wrestlers in that faction. So.
And Lady C.
And Lady C. But that's kind of what she's going for, I think. I think she does have a background too. What was the background, Eric? You know, I think.
I don't
Karate or judo, something.
I
thought she did something
just because of the move she does.
Yeah, maybe that was just an assumption. I saw some backstage comments from Akira and Anya after this, which were very cute.
Oh, yeah. This was kind of spicy. So, in the first one we just said about Ai Sakura, she's referencing the main event. I actually felt like a lot of the backstage comments were talking about the main event, which I thought was kind of cool. Obviously, you're not really watching the backstage the backstage comments before the show, or like before the main event, maybe, but they were all building to it. And I thought that was just kind of a cool thread.
Yeah.
So there were some spicy comments from Anna, basically. So she was saying that she would be watching the main event and that she believes in Cosmic Angels. Then Akira comes along and she's like totally complimentary of Anne. Like she is flirting with her. She's like, hey, you can never win without losing first, right? So keep your head up, right? She's just being super nice to Anne. And what's hilarious to me is Akira then asks Ane, hey, what's that famous phrase in Okinawa? And Ane, because Ane's from Okinawa, and Ane replies with Nankuru Naisa. And apparently that's a phrase in Okinawa that roughly means it will all be all right. And you know who else has been saying that?
Sayaka.
So
Hell yeah.
I don't know if these fucking Stardom wrestlers do this shit on purpose, because this is a pre-show backstage segment. It's so crazy to me.
That's so cool. Yeah. But I like the dynamic between these two. Like, at first, I don't know. Especially in this backstage interview, seeing like Akira's soft side, I guess, when she's always trying to be this hard ass in the ring, especially when she's in there with other rookies. That was really fun to me. Either way, our third and last pre-show match was the Pine Speed 6-way match. This was Cena versus Lady C, Momokogo, Tabata, Tomoka Inaba, and Yuna Mitsumori. This went 7 minutes, and I have literally no notes on this other than I was right. Eric too.
We were right.
We were right. We predicted Cena to pin Yuna Mitsumori, and that's what happened. David, do you have any notes on this? I literally got nothing from this match, honestly. Maybe I was getting breakfast during that. I don't remember why I don't have anything.
Yeah, a few. They're more just like random bits and bobs. So, I mean, obviously the funny one is the ongoing Tabata gear transformations. So, like on the preview show, the Korakuen that we didn't really talk about. So they debuted, I think, a fully body covered Aztec warrior MMA braided outfit, and then in this one she's back to wearing like complete arse out lingerie. It's so chronically, it's like not as confused as Hanan, but it's quite incredible to have a different gear and gimmick every single match.
She's rich, right? How does she have?
Must be.
She debuts gear on every show. It's crazy.
And then just my other notes, I thought it was really funny because obviously her title wasn't on the line, right? So she was taking it a bit less seriously. I enjoyed Yuna just cheering on the giant swing, like not breaking up, not attacking, just having fun. I thought Tomoka was the best person's match because she was really good at taking everyone else's stuff. Like I think everyone else's stuff looked best when they did it to her, and that's a compliment to her. There's a nice little story of God's Eye where they're like, because they were a unit in the match, they did work together, did their like little atomic drop kick combos. That had a little bit of story. They did a 6-way cross-up running spot that was a total mess, but again, it was fun because it's like just seeing all these little scamps run around. It was enjoyable. And then probably the story of the match, I guess, is obviously the result, which is the high speed, low speed offense of Xena, because she didn't just power and blast everyone. She did do that, of course, but she ended it with a high speed cradle sequence that she did very slowly, but proficiently enough.
Yeah, true. I remember that. That was funny, yeah.
So I'll be interested if their match, if she's going to try and do that stuff, or if she's just going to chop the crap out of her. We'll see.
Oh, I hope they just beat the shit out of each other. I hope Yuna tries to lariat her as hard as she can, and Cena tries to chop her as hard as she can, because that's what they do best, right? I hope they don't try to do a high speed match.
But they might.
Stupid. Yeah, Yuna's title matches have been weird so far. I wouldn't be surprised if this one goes into a totally different direction as well. We'll see. So, do you have anything on this, Eric? You were at the merch stand, I think, during this one. All right.
It's on the merch stand now.
I don't know.
Sorry. I think we can go on.
We can go on. I hope he's all right.
Sorry, did you say something to me?
Do you have anything on the...
timing. You guys weren't talking to me for like 5 minutes, so I went to go fill up my water bottle, and then that's the one time you talk to me.
It's all right. The question was, you were at the merch stand, I think, at this point. Do you have any comments on Cena pinning Yuna Mitsumori?
No, it's exactly what you said. I do want them to beat the shit out of each other. Yes. I think if they do, they can have a sick match. I think it's on the 4th of May in Kumamoto, which is exactly what we said as well.
Yeah, that's awesome. I'm looking forward to it. If they do the match they should do, then it's could be sick. We'll see. So, start of the main show. Eric has finally found a seat, I think. Were you in time for this? I think so, right?
Yeah,
for the first match.
So, I guess I don't know if we've said it yet, but I was at the Ice Ribbon show, which started at 12, which is 3 hours before Stardom. So that went on for like 1 hour 45 minutes, which is about normal for an Ice Ribbon show. And then I just got fucking lost on the way to Yokohama. I just kept getting on the wrong trains. I didn't trust my Google Maps, so I tried to guess it. Always trust Google Maps in Japan. It is
what
always
were you
accurate.
thinking?
I just thought I was smarter than it. I was like, oh, it wants to take me on this train. Like, I don't know where that's going. I'm just going to go on this one where other people are. And then I missed getting off on a transfer. I should have noticed half the train empty out, people in Stardom merch, and I just didn't notice. So then I missed the stop and I just had to get on a different plane. It was a fucking nightmare. So I got there at 3, which is when the show starts, and I heard the opening video and stuff like that. And I was in the merch queue and I didn't really have time to think, so I just circled a bunch of stuff that looked good. Then she started getting a bunch of merch, and I was like, that's a lot of merch. I didn't realize I had put that much down on the sheet, but that's okay. So then I just had to carry literally a fucking stack of merch to my seat. I just apologized to people I was sitting next to because I just dropped it all. Yeah, and then I got it back in time just for Maki Ito's entrance.
That's good. Yes, because Maki Ito opened the show against Natsupoi, the second Cosmic Angel in action. And Natsupoi, interestingly enough, paid homage to one Kairi Hojo with her Kairi memorial gear. I'm pretty sure Kairi basically donated this to Natsupoi when she... No, wait. How did Natsupoi get this gear? I don't remember. Because when Kairi left, Natsupoi was still in Tokyo Joshi Pro, right? Somehow Natsupoi got Kairi's old gear.
I got no fucking idea. This is before my time.
I thought it was a gift, but I might be wrong.
It was a gift, but they weren't in the same promotion at the time. That's why I'm...
Well, she did come back for a bit.
No,
but that was... Then. Yeah, she got it before then. They probably just know each other in real life. Yeah. The first time I remember me seeing Natsupoi wearing this gear is, I think, when she had the match with Tam Nakano for the white belt on, I think, March 3rd, 2021, which was a fucking awesome match. No, it was April 4th.
Yeah, that's one of my all-time favorite matches.
Yes, April 4th, right? March 3rd was the Julia Hare vs. title match, I think. Or Hare vs. her match.
Yeah, I think that's right.
Not sure about the order. One was in March, one was in April, and Natsupoi wore her gear then. I don't know if she was referencing that, looking back to a Tar match, or if she was referencing Kairi leaving the company she was employed at, literally. When did that news come out? That came out before the Stardom show, right?
Friday in the middle of SmackDown.
Right, where she was still in an active storyline.
Yeah. And it is interesting. I'm not going to do a WWE aside, but obviously, I've been enjoying that storyline, which is now being hideously cut short. But it is interesting that of all the cuts, that has got by far the biggest backlash. Much more than Aleister Black or who you'd think would be a bigger star potentially. So it's interesting to see how liked she was. So and backlash backstage apparently too. So anyway.
Yeah, I mean that's just fucking stupid. Whatever. Do you guys think that's a sign? Do you think they bring Kairi back? I honestly, I wouldn't like it very much because her last stint wasn't very great in Stardom, where she just couldn't lose a single match and was just all time limit draws and stuff. It was kind of weird. I don't know. I like Kairi.
I've got no opinion on this.
Okay,
yeah.
Whatever.
I like the matches, but I just assume should she not be Marigold maybe?
I think Marigold is actually more realistic because I think she's very thick with Rossi. Do you say she's thick with him? Is that a thing in England? I don't know.
She's thick?
That's a German expression. If you're thick with someone, you're close to someone, or you're
I've heard Europeans say that. Yeah, I've not. It's not a British saying, I don't think.
Yeah.
You say someone is dumb when you call them thick, right?
Yeah, we'd say you're tight with them.
Tight, yeah, that's maybe that's the right thing.
I mean,
I think she's tight with Rossi. So
Actually, I do have an opinion, maybe. I don't really care about roster sizes at all, but I just want people coming in to have like good creative or good storyline. So, spoiler, Utami, I would want her to come in because she has like a ready-made storyline there, and why make bookers work harder than they need to, right? It's just there ready to go, and that provides some juice in the upper card or whatever. Kairi, I don't really know what she offers beyond being nostalgia, and I kind of like those roster additions less so.
Same. That's perfectly put. Should we have talked about Utami in the main event wrap up?
I did have a point. Yeah, that I think that is maybe Saya's next thing. So I did briefly. I didn't mention Utami, but I mentioned that Sayaka can build out Tam lore with Ai Sakura, right? Like we've spoken about those two being two, offspawns of Tam, right? In a way, right? The different sides of Tam. And Saya can just sort of step away from the Tam lore stuff just for a bit, and she can deal with like the hate disbandment. What I wanted to add to that is she can do that with Utami, and that is it's a high level storyline that Utami can jump into, and it keeps Sayaka and Ai Sakura doing their own stuff. They're still New Blood Tag Team Champions, by the way. So that's kind of what I would like to see going forward.
Did you read Aya's? Oh God, we're gonna. This is gonna take forever. This fucking podcast. Did you read Aya Sakura's blog entry? That came out like right before STARDOM Grand Queendom.
Isn't it over?
Yes,
now?
I did.
Did
it is over now. Yeah.
That? Yeah. Oh, that's a shame for me. But go on. No, I didn't actually read this one. I just saw that it was at an end.
Yes, her very last entry was just completely about Tam Nakano. Did you read it, Eric?
Yeah, I did. Yeah, but you go for it.
Yeah.
You recap it.
I mean, it was kind of like a letter to Tam in a way. And how much she kind of regrets how little she actually talked to Tam or like got advice from Tam. She met Tam like, when did she say? Like at a random audition before in like 2019 or whatever. She saw Tam.
Yes.
And that's why she wanted to join Tam's unit too, because she was like so mesmerized back then, even by like Tam's energy and by like Tam's aura. She had like this, what did she call it? Like an anime star aura or whatever. And yeah, and that's why she wanted to join the Cosmic Angels. And since she was injured very early on, and then like other people joined the Cosmic Angels, and Tam kind of chose Sayaka Kurara over her, which also sowed more of this like skepticism. Is Aya gonna turn on Sayaka because of how it came off a bit like envious how she talked about Tam choosing Sayaka as her like big protege, and not herself. And that's also the reason why she never like got that close to Tam as she actually wanted to. And now Tam is taking some time off. Maybe when Tam comes back, Aya can form a closer bond with her,
Her words were, at some point, she wrote about Sakurara in her column. I think this is Tam's column, actually. So she must have had a Shupro one at some point. I don't know.
Yes, she did.
Compared to what she wrote about Sayaka Kurara, what she wrote about me was just one single line. I figured she had only had a passing interest in me because of our shared Miss ID background. That's the audition thing you mentioned. And that it was Sayaka that she was really watching and investing in. And then Tam picking Sayaka as her tag league partner, that also, she also mentions that as well. She said the tag league partner she chose was also Sayaka. So I felt a sense of inferiority, knowing I wasn't particularly liked. So, yeah.
Yeah. That's, you could interpret that as another plot point of this whole thing.
Yeah, that's why I'm like, pair Aya, Sakura, and Sayaka Kurara, build up Tam lore, have Saya do something different for now. And Utami is perfect for that.
Yes. So, shall we get into Natsupoi versus Marquis?
I was about to say, I had to mute the mic for like a whole minute then because I was dying laughing because I couldn't believe we've done the main event of the pre-show and we did a big Tam fight again.
So, welcome to Joshi'ing Around Weekly.
Let's get this opener done.
All right. I didn't have many thoughts on this, honestly. Poi obviously lost because I think that's kind of the storyline that she's losing, and obviously Maki had to win because she's the next big challenger. And the only real note I have is like they did one pretty stupid spot in the middle, obviously when Poi was on the top rope, and fucking Maki Ito got her huge kawaii star from under the ring, and like Natsupoi acted like it was like the most horrifying thing she's ever seen, and did like this whole face acting on the top turnbuckle, which was like, honestly, that was, even for me, that was too fucking dumb with this. Well, I can totally see like people completely losing their minds over that. That wasn't me, but like it was a bit too silly in a way. It's Maki Ito. It's shtick. Whatever.
She's still scarred from the memory of seeing it talk to her from the video screen in the middle of the match from
yeah, that was also a bit too silly for me. But I didn't lose my mind over it. I saw people like completely like say that Maki Ito is like the worst thing that ever happened to Stardom because of like a 2-second video in the match, and she has done like some amazing work to get other people over, but let's not dwell on this, I think. Yeah, Maki kicked her off the ferrying ring, which kind of surprised me, and then she rolled her up with her like trap pin and won. Poi did an awesome kick combo at one point, which Maki also kicked out of, but yeah, just kind of a story match, stick match. I don't know what you want to call it. Any thoughts?
David, you always go second, just so we never have to do this again.
Okay, that's good to know. So I'm not a fan of Makito's stuff personally. Like, mainly the wrestling part I don't enjoy too much. I don't mind especially now Saki's retired, I don't mind having a big character like this. In fact, that's quite fun. But I thought this match was pretty, like, except for the point Tim mentioned, I thought this match was pretty tight and solid, and I just thought it was like a good, fun, reasonably well worked opener. I'm not. Yeah, I don't. As I say, I'm someone who Maki isn't for me at all. It still isn't for me. But I don't have any objection. I don't feel the need to go on tirades about having one person who isn't to my taste on the show. So that's fine with me.
Yeah, she's super over. Just if anyone didn't know, there was like lots of laughter during the video packages. People were singing her song around me. Okay, not directly next to me because those were quiet people, but I definitely heard people singing her song. People were screaming like Ito-chan, and they were shouting like Kaisa Kaisa, which is what you shout to encourage someone to kick out. They would just really, and this is Poi, by the way, that she's against. Ito is just super over. So, yeah. And she also got Ito chants in the post match when she was saying she defeated the evil Poi and the heel unit of Cosmic Angels. So.
She's terrible. I don't know. Her character.
I was just going to say, this one of the really cool things about having 8,000 people in the building was having reactions like this. It was like, in my time watching Stardom or any of the Joshi promotions, I can't think of a crowd that sounded like this, like in multiple matches as well. So, and Maki was, I'd say, one of the most popular, if not the most like popular in doing her shtick. So hearing that by that many people, it felt like watching an American promotion, but much better because the crowd aren't annoying.
It's true. All right, shall we move on to the big fuck off, get everyone on the card gauntlet tag team match, which was opened by Neo Genesis, Starlight Kid, and May Sarah, much to my dismay. I might say, because obviously I was hoping they would win this. They are, to me, the biggest stars in this match. And I was still hoping they would just run the gauntlet. And I would have booked it like that. If I was Taro, I would have just had May, Sarah, and Starlight Kid still come out first because they get like the first entrance pop. Then just go through every team because they're amazing. Obviously, that's not how Stardom works. They did last pretty long, though. They first defeated Rian and Wakatsukiyama in only 1 minute and 25 seconds. After that, they defeated the Hate team of Azusa, Inaba, and Rina in a little over 3 minutes. I heard Rina was concussed, that's why she was barely in the match. I didn't even realize that. When did that happen? Do you guys know about that?
First I've heard of it.
Huh. Because I was surprised that Rina didn't do much in the match. And someone, I think Kazi said that she was in concussion protocol or whatever, and I had never heard of that. Maybe it was just an assumption because she was barely in the match. I thought they were just protecting her and had didn't have her take much offense or take the fall. That was all on Azusa. Anyway, after that we had the God's Eye coming in, the team of Ami Sourei and Hina, and they finally defeated Starlight Kid and Mei Sarah in a bit of a longer stretch, over 5 minutes this one. And then we had Stars coming in, who defeated God's Eye in return. Stars were Saya Ida and the then still member B. Priestley. Spoilers.
Gorilla Trigger, as Walker liked to tell us a lot.
The Gorilla Trigger came in. And after that, we had FWC, Hazuki and Koguma coming in to pick up the scraps and defeat Stars to win the whole match. Just like, I kind of like when they do that because it's the most realistic way to structure a gauntlet match in a way. But like also it's kind of silly, like, I don't know, the last match coming in and just winning the whole thing. Makes for a better story if someone runs the entire gauntlet or whatever, but that's just me. Those were my overarching thoughts. I don't have many real notes. I think there was a killer lariat from Ida at some point. She killed Hina with it. That was like one of my highlights of the match. And also like Ida killed her with chops after. Ida was kind of a powerhouse in this match. That was kind of cool. Yeah, other than that, this was just to get the people on the card. FWC winning is kind of cool. I like that they're making them look stronger again. I think they picked up the win on the previous show as well, surprisingly. Kind of surprisingly because they were like bigger stars in that match, if I remember correctly. I kind of had the same point in the previous Korakuen that FWC picking up the win is kind of like... Then you don't see it that often anymore in Stardom because they have kind of been like downcycled because they did a lot of freelancer work as well and weren't in the company much last year, but it seems like they're back in the fold and looking strong. Maybe that's leading to a tag team title match, I don't know. David, do you have any big thoughts on the Gauntlet tag team match?
Yeah, just a few here and there. One is obviously the quality of the roster, that they can have so much talent in a match like this. Is kind of crazy. There's some fun notes in the first bit with I thought Rianne and May were having like a really fun, like for Rianne, like intense like cover battle, like who can get position. But then, oh my god, like Waka has to break up the key pin and she decides to do it with her arse attack, which she misses and just like sits down next to them. And then it gets worse. She awkwardly walks herself out of the ring right on camera and she has to pretend that she doesn't see kids sneaking back in to break up Rianne's cover. And it's just like, oh my god, you had one spot in a 90-second match. But anyway, I still thought it was fun. It was just like, oh god, how did you fuck that up? And then, as I say, Rena does really good corner elbows because all of Hate do that spot where they charge and do corner elbows, and I thought hers are the best. And also, I thought Rena and Azusa's entrance was really good. Like I thought with that super HD camera, whatever it is they had, it looked really, and she has this like great insouciant look, really cool. Just trying to think of some other notes. I thought probably the star of the match, if you're not counting May and Kid, maybe. Was I thought Hina was amazing in this one. Some beautiful throws and slams and suplexes and a pump handle rock bottom, all kinds of crazy stuff. I've got a comment because I mentioned it in my review of Night of the Amazoness in CMLL. But May Sarah, for someone who is so graceful and so talented, she looks like she's read about the concept of a moonsault in an instruction manual and is trying to figure out in lifetime what it is. Like, like she hits it, but it is so it's so ugly. And
it looks odd. I kind of like it though. It looks so like unique in a way.
And she does it at the same time as Kids one, so it like highlights how weird it is even more. But yeah. But anyway, she was magic as usual in this match. I thought Amy and Hina as a team looked really good. I thought like Amy looked, I don't know if she changed the gear or something, but maybe it's just in a tag team she looked a bit more. She always looks a bit like Hanan, has that slight confused aspect to her presentation. I thought she looked good here. And I thought her, Hina and Ida, any of their battle spots were great.
Yes,
and then
that was my highlight too.
Similar to you on the end, I think it's like, it's the least dramatic thing, but it does make the most sense to have the freshest team win, especially given what would happen later with B. Obviously, they probably couldn't have won.
Oh, that's true. That's true as well. Yeah, would have been kind of funny though.
Yeah, true. Oh, and I've got I should have written down the exact quote because obviously I can't remember what it was now. But this was matched. I think obviously he probably has no inside information, but I think Walker made some allusions to Utami coming to Stardom in this match. I just wish I'd written down exactly what he said. But anyway, it was. I had a note of that. Maybe someone listening at home would have also picked up on that. But that's my last note on this match, that he made some allusion to that.
Maybe Walker can tell us. I don't know if he's
True.
listening. Anyway,
Hi.
Eric.
Yes.
Hi.
I've been here the whole
Do
time.
you have big
yes. So
I was testing the waters.
You go second on the next one.
yeah, sure. So then I kind of just want to say B was kind of over. There were just a lot of fans around me screaming for B. And one of them, a few rows back, must have been a B super fan. So, yeah, I guess I just wanted to say that. And I had written down in my notes that hating on B Priestley was like 7 months ago. She's cool. She's all right. People in Japan like her. And then, the angle happened. And then I started hating on her again. So.
Nice timing.
Exactly. It makes sense that FWC won. It's Golden Week next week. Obviously, they're in Fukuoka. Whatever. So that kind of made sense.
Yes, we were. Oh my god, I can't talk anymore. It's already starting. Damn. We were kind of warming up on B.
That's
as
what
well
I say.
on the podcast.
Yeah.
Right. We were kind of like talking. Oh, she's
all right,
she's actually a pretty good
And
worker
then
here and
this.
there, and like, yeah. We'll get to it. We went off to the Future of Stardom title match next, which was Rana Yagami defending against Emma Maeshima successfully. Okay. Does anyone of you want to go first?
Why,
Tim?
do you need toilet? I'll go first this time.
No, I don't need toilet, but this was the match where I was having breakfast. So
This was the match I almost fell asleep in, like for real, in the building. I was dying during this match. I know now why, but yeah, I have no memory of this match. I guess the only note I have written down is that people were kind of confused by the finish. I kind of just heard like a lot of air around me, so I don't know if they were expecting Emma to win or if they were deflated or something. There were kind of a lot of split chants, a lot of big Emma chants. I kind of just want to repeat. I know I was struggling, but even then, I still feel like Rana still needs to put things together. I don't think all of that was me being ill. I think part of it is just she just has so many individual good parts, and she just can't carry a match. Like when I think of her best matches, it's in Wave, but she's had some really good matches against Suri and against Yuri, right? Like this is what this belt was for, basically what I said last week. And this match just kind of reinforced that for me.
Yeah. I don't know if I've ever seen her do the submission before and win with it before, especially. So maybe that was the surprise or the confusion. It was almost like a hydrangea.
Excuse me, Tim.
Hydrangea?
You were obviously not paying attention to the commentary, because before the match, 3 times during the match, Walker Stewart informed us that Rana is a big influence of your friend Tai Honma. Honma, is that
no, that's correct. Yeah,
Tai, and this used to be known as the Tai Lock, but it is now the Tai Rock, and that was Walker's one fact, and he was sticking to it, and it was the finish. I liked it. I thought she looked like Emma looked really helpless in the hold and trap, so I thought it was pretty sick myself. But.
Well, I wasn't gonna flaunt this. I don't know. Like I love Walker, right? He's a great commentary.
He's awesome, yeah.
He's the best we could possibly get for Stardom, I think. I still prefer, honestly, the Japanese feed, so I found a way to get the Japanese feed, and I watched it with Japanese commentary. So that's why I didn't get these inside informations, I guess.
I do remember.
Maybe that
I do remember her
backfired on
passing
me.
that move down, though. That did happen.
Okay, then she must have
I
done it
think
before
it's the
too.
first time, maybe.
And
I don't know. Maybe it just took a while.
I'm not up to speed on my Ranai lore. Yeah.
Walker was talking about it like it was going to be a big thing we'd see for the first time. So I think Rana maybe told him this herself, or perhaps, or someone had told.
Maybe, yeah. So maybe it's correct that it was the first time, yeah, for sure. Any other thoughts, David?
Yeah, I think I like this one more than you two, because I think after not that I thought it was particularly great or anything, but it's just because obviously we had like a really fast, like lots of 3-minute matches or 4-minute matches. So I quite liked having a more slower, working each other over match. I thought I enjoyed Emma kind of trying to young boy Rana and like grind her into the ground with the Boston Crab and half Boston Crab. And I say I more just liked it as a change of pace. And I always find Emma surprisingly athletic. I don't know why, because I see her do her springboards all the time, like jumping straight to the top rope. But every time I'm always surprised she can do that. It's just something about her look. She's very unassuming, but it's very impressive. And also love her theme. So yeah, I like this one new. I think just because I think after the last match I was ready for something a bit less ADHD. And while this was not like, it's just a fine for what it was. I felt like I needed this type of match in this spot.
Yeah, I did write one of my single notes while I was eating was like, this has been decent. So it's not like I didn't like the match or anything. I did think it was decent, but yeah, kind of there for me.
Oh, I did.
It's kind of a break match. Sorry?
Yeah, actually thinking about it, I just reading my notes back. I did say I think the one glaring weakness they both need to improve on is that entering that final gear and raising the intensity level to up the dramatic stakes.
Yeah.
I don't think either of them do that. The match didn't crescendo; it just ended. But even though I like,
I
like the actual finishing move, but it was, yeah.
That's certainly one of the big things Runner's still struggling with. I totally agree. We also saw that in her previous matches, kind of. It worked for me definitely in the Hanako match because there was more of a surprise finish, of course. But I think we saw a similar thing in the Honoka match. Next up, we had the big special singles match, Fuwa-chan against Saori Anou, our fourth Cosmic Angel of the night. What am I talking about? She had to follow Natsupoi and Hyuna losing. And what did she do? Well, first of all, she had an amazing match, I thought. Not just her, I think Fuwa-chan as well. I think Fuwa-chan is incredible for her stage, obviously. I mean, everyone's talking about her, right? Like, for her experience level, she's just, I don't know how that's even possible. And this was a really great match. This was my first, like, real highlight of the night. And maybe it's even, like, it's hard to tell. It's probably, like, third for me, maybe even, of the night. Third most favorite match? Hard to say. Maybe fourth. It's there's been a lot of good shit after this too, but this was really, really great, I thought. And Saori looked so good too. Like, she was locked in, Fuwa was locked in, and obviously we had the big upset that I predicted last week. Fuwa beat Saori Anou in about 17 minutes. Do you want to go through the match for me, David?
Oh, I don't know if I have notes comprehensive enough for that, but I can make some comments. First of all,
I have way too many notes. I'm completely overwhelmed by my notes. So I need a bit of time
I have the same thing, but they're all just random words. But one thing I will start off by saying, look, I know this is like a serious podcast and it's not the Horny Boys podcast, but I will say Saori should be forbidden from wearing these glasses because it's like not fair. She looked ungodly good in her entrance.
Her gear in general, I loved her new gear here.
Yeah, I was tempted to send a picture to my friend Rachel because she'd just like leave her wife if she saw this entrance. But it was incredible. And Fuwa's gear also really like not an upgrade because it's like kind of within her pattern of things she wears, but I thought like had a really cool super show gear. Match wise, story wise, I love how like Saori wasn't dismissive in the way that Saya was later on. She was more like super callous, like I'm going to give you nothing, I'm going to smother you, like just locking her in like the straitjacket and being like, so somehow it's a very Saori thing to be like nonchalant and dismissive, but also like talking shit the whole time. So it's like a really unique take on like being nonplussed and a complete dickhead. So like both of them I thought had really good body language. And I think I said this in my During Queendom review, I think Fuwa, because she's such a big cartoon, that actually helps some of her rookie elements work for her. Like she still does some like quite some overselling and some like big run up type things to moves, where if like Emma did that, you'd think, oh, she's setting up, she's hesitating, she's like counting her steps. But with Fuwa, it like completely plays into her entire aesthetic. So like it almost doesn't matter when she has a rookie moment, it actually works for the whole presentation. So that's like a really unique thing to her. And also she has like an incredible like long body shape, which makes that octopus stretch, the Inoki style one, look amazing. But they were just, and Saori had some crazy. I think I should have written down the names of the moves better, but they're like some crazy pretzel choke. I called it from Saori. They were just trading amazing things. And I'll let you take over for a bit. But I love this match too. There's like, but I'll let you have a bit of praising.
I mean, that octopus was really a highlight for me too. That looked incredible. I always have like, I watched the WrestleMania match between Becky and AJ Lee. And I like have AJ Lee's octopus in mind, and it's like if you compare these two, I made the comparison before from Fuwa-chan to those two because like Fuwa-chan has like 1% of the matches of like AJ Lee, which is so funny how much better her octopus looks.
I do think AJ is the worst. I think she's just lucky to be at a time when she actively enjoyed wrestling as a thing at a time when most of the people were model hires from a diva search. So like I think she retrospectively gets remembered as a lot better than she was, not by like critics, but by, like, generally she's considered like a good wrestler, I think, among like your casual fan base, when that's crazy to me.
So I haven't been watching wrestling when AJ Lee was like active, let's say. That I missed the whole AJ Lee thing. So from what I heard, I expected better, let's just say. So.
No, they don't frame it this way, but like Charlotte, Becky, Sasha, when they all came up, like part of it was like they kind of framed like AJ as like one of the ones they liked, but like she was getting rid of her kind of crap as well. And also she was like a GM and stuff half the time. She's not good anyway. Fu was much better already. Yes,
speaking of much better, these Germans in this match were insane. They did some high angle Germans, like several, like Saori just kept dropping Fuwa on her head, and like just Fuwa even taking these bumps at the stage of her career is just kind of insane to me. Like it was legit scary at some points. Like they were so high angle, but she it was perfect.
That was like one of the big themes of the match. That like they would keep teasing stuff that you'd think Fuwa would get out of or escape, but she just like kept eating stuff. Like she was stuck in a choke, and like Saori doesn't get out of it. Saori just lets her up, and then she sets up this giant. I think it's like a giant knee strike, and you're like, oh, Fuwa's dodging this. It's like, no, she's not. And she just gets destroyed. but she doesn't die. That's the whole point. It's like
yes, that was kind of amazing. Fuwa gave it back to her too. She like fucking brain busted her at some point, which she obviously got from her mentor from Hazuki, just her big finisher. But and she also like at some point Saori got like a little cocky towards the end though. Like as you said, like more callous maybe. I don't know. She basically invited like Fuwa started doing these like missile drop kicks, and like Saori was just standing in the ring with her arms like widespread open, like she was inviting Fuwa to do another second missile drop kick to her, which she did. But then immediately like Fuwa got like this double arm submission. I think that's what you meant, the pretzel thing, maybe.
Oh no, Saori did a weird pretzel.
Oh, sorry, okay.
Because I had a debate about this in the thread I was watching live with. Because I'm pretty sure I identified the move Fuwa did as the Doki Choki, but with both people lying on the floor.
Doki Choki.
So it's the
that sounds right. Yeah.
You cross the legs across their neck and you hold their arms, but normally Doki's on his shoulders,
exactly.
whereas here they were both lying down.
Was there,
Okay,
is there a Nagata lock in this match?
So that
The reason
Nagata
I say
lock?
that is because
Yeah,
they had a training
I think
session, a public one, and then Nagata passed down the Nagata lock to Fuwa-chan, and she said she was going to use it in this match, and I don't know what Nagata lock looks like, so I thought it was one of these ones, but anyway.
Maybe that was it. Maybe Doki also does the Nagata lock, and it's like originally from him. I don't know. I'm out of my depth there with Nagata. I'm sorry. Obviously, one of the big highlights was also the moonsault from Fuwa. I did not expect that. That was sick.
And
Big one too.
In Twitter, I think today maybe, Saori kind of finally said something nice about Fuwa, and it was just like she said, a moonsault is a technique that I've been wanting to do like my whole life or something like that, but she's never been able to do it properly and has an inability to do it. So she was like genuinely impressed that Fuwa could do that. So I thought that was nice. It was also a very janky moonsault, but it was cool.
You thought? I liked it. Maybe I like janky moves a lot of the time.
Yeah.
I think it looks more. I like them better than polished.
It was like traveling horizontally quite a lot, but that's fine.
Okay. Didn't really notice it actually, but I don't know. Yeah, Fuwa then got out of the pottering, and did they release German too? Sorry, which was also sick. And La Magistral for the win.
Suki Stroll.
Yeah.
Suki Stroll. True. Yes, Saori was big mad after the match. She eye-gouged Fuwa, which was not nice. But this fucking rocked. This was the first big highlight of the evening. Incredible. Eric, you've been... You haven't talked about this match.
I thought this was
yet.
my second match of the night. I thought this was incredible.
Sick.
Mm.
I wasn't ready to go that high, but I can totally see it.
I went that high. I thought this was insane. I thought it had the most heat of anything up to this point, of course. Fuwa-chan looked amazing. Saori obviously looked great. I'm kind of toying. I don't know how to describe Fuwa-chan because I understand that she gets given a lot. Like, you know, she's been allowed to do the German since day one. So if you give other rookies a lot, would they look as good as her? And I can't answer that question because I don't know. But in terms of which rookie looks the most impressive to me on the planet, it is Fuwa-chan. It feels like it's not fair to be as good as she is at this stage in her career. To be so good that people kind of stop calling you a rookie. Like what the fuck is that? Like people just don't even consider her as like the same batch of the other, you know, the Stardom 6. And it feels like she's even maybe underrated a bit. That she can go out and have this match with Sariano on the biggest show of them all. You're just not supposed to have this level of skill 20 matches into your career. I guess a quick anecdote is so Trish of the Trish and Sarah podcast, she was watching this show, and you know she said, yeah, this was a great match, and then I point out afterwards, yeah, that's a celebrity with 20 matches. She was like, what? She's like, she never would have guessed that is the experience Fuwa-chan has. And David, do you think she's better than Kendall Gray?
I don't know. I think Kendall, that's a bit... I know you probably queue me up to say yes, but I actually think Kendall's very good at the fundamental stuff. So I'd love to see her have a match.
Okay, it depends what you mean by fundamentals. But Fuwa-chan's like, what she's really good at for me is bumping and selling. Like she is like, I can't even explain how good she is at those two things. She's, I don't even know, I guess comedian background. Like she's just good at entertaining and performing. But from day one, I like locked in on her bumping, and like on these German suplexes, her bumping was contributing to the crowd going fucking mental in those German suplexes. The crowd were going insane on each German suplex. So when people say, oh, you know, too many Germans, people don't react to it. No, everyone was reacting to this like it was a huge fucking deal. Yeah, I loved everything in this match. This match immediately woke me up as well from the previous one. Yeah, I just loved it.
Well, I was going to say for like a comparison, like I think of one for Fuwa as a fellow celebrity who gets to
Logan?
do everything would be like Logan Paul, right? Because he's very
She smokes
athletic.
Logan for me.
He gets to do all the moves. Yeah, he can't do like whenever he has to do a middle of a non-super planned match, because obviously these are quite planned too. But like they just don't work. Like whenever he's the main event of Raw, it just turns into like kill time and then do spots. Whereas this is like a full compelling really well worked tight match. So
No,
he's on another level, and he's got more experience.
Yeah, I completely agree. I think Logan Paul's a fake person. That's one I brought up to Trish as well. And I think it's not even like in the same stratosphere between them, to be honest. So yeah, I just love this match. Can I talk about the backstage? Is everyone? I think we can now, right?
I wanted to add to your point actually about her selling. I think that's a great point. Like Fuva's selling in submissions is crazy for her level as well. Like I could never see. I gotta be honest here. I gotta come clean to you guys. I've never in my life watched a single Logan Paul match, but I would be surprised if he would be able to sell this panic while he's in like a double arm choke from Soriano, like Fuva did here. So like that was the pretzel thing you meant. Yeah. Like the way she sold in this, the way her like arms flailed like in panic, it almost looked like she was tapping at some points. Obviously she wasn't. But it was like, yeah, she gets it. She gets how to really do pro wrestling, I guess.
Yeah, and just before
get the audience into it.
I was just going to say, just before Eric does the post match, I was going to say I really like the story element of the match too. I know I said that at the beginning, but like it was proper like endurance versus like a hubristic veteran, and then the other big thing I really loved was like again, Eric might not have seen this watching live. Is like we had loads of great shots of Hazuki being like the world's proudest mom at ringside.
That was awesome.
That was so nice post match. Really added to it for me.
Yeah, in the backstage, Fuwa-chan was basically like Hazuki and Saida have been there since the start. Even in 2024, when she did a pro wrestling match against another comedian at Tokyo Dome, Kagusa, Hazuki and Ida were there, but now her team has changed a little, so it's only Hazuki. So they just have a really, really strong bond, Hazuki and Fuwa. It feels like Hazuki, even if she stopped wrestling, she has a job for life just to watch over Fuwa-chan. So, yeah. Fuwa-chan's left hand was swollen as well after the match. So that's what she mentioned. If you read Fuwa-chan's transcripts, I just wanted to say this. She talks like a hyperactive, ADHD, very quick-witted Westerner. I don't know how to explain that to you guys, but her transcripts do not come off like a Japanese person. Like the tone, the comedy, all of that. Tim, you would absolutely hate her as a person, just so you know. She is like
I can see
she is so hyperactive. It's kind of fun to read.
I think if I had like I don't think she did my type of YouTube career before she became a wrestler. I wouldn't have enjoyed her videos, I don't think. Up next, we had the Drunkers Crash hardcore tag team match between.
Was it off?
Excuse me. No, you've skipped something, Tim.
Wait, I went off the cage match. I'm sorry. Obviously, yes. I'm sorry. Oh, that's a blunder. I hope nobody gets fired for this one. Up next, we had obviously the Saki Kashima retirement ceremony. I shouldn't just go by cage match. That's fucking stupid. I should have known.
You want to talk about her retirement match first? So Izumi and Momo versus Saki Kashima and Syuri on the 23rd of April.
Yes. Did you watch that, David?
Yeah, I definitely did. But someone else go first because I've got to find my notes to remind myself what happened.
Do you want to go first?
I think what I got. So Saki immediately pinned Izumi, right? And then Syuri was like asking the crowd to chant for one more time, Moike, and Tarakada's like fine. And then Izumi tries Saki's pin, and then Saki tries the Izumi sushi. I thought that was like a really fun opening to the match. I thought in general Izumi and Syuri are just so good together. Like I just really want that to be like an IWGP title match or something. Just really good chemistry.
Oh yeah. They've always been so great.
Saki was doing fighting spirit spots against Momo's kicks, which just that honestly got me. That was hilarious. Awesome. Izumi and Momo were like doing double team moves to Saki for a bit, but not for long because Momo, the dastardly heel, tries to bat Izumi around the face. And then Saki wins after they like all group up to fuck Momo up. So it was just a really feel good match. I liked it a lot.
I thought that finish was perfect. I liked that finish so much when everyone just turned on Momo. Azumi turned on Momo, and they just beat Momo up, and Saki pins her. It was so good. Just heel getting his comeuppance was very, very fun and very nice. Did you remember stuff, David?
Just mostly funny Saki stuff. Like I really liked at the beginning of the match when they're doing that. Like after the initial win, they do a second one and they do the handshake again, and like Saki just acting like Azumi's hand is like the ickiest thing in the world. I really enjoyed. And then I also liked her breaking like one of those like one of those rules in wrestling that makes no sense. But Saki just like completely shows it up for what it is. Like she's building up to a hot tag to Shuri, and the way she does it is she just like gets bored of fighting, walks out the side of the ring, walks around the outside, and re-enters the ring directly next to
Oh
Shuri.
Yeah, that was so funny.
And you're just like, obviously that's what you should do in every tag match, but no one does. It's why I do on like No Mercy.
Why have I never seen this?
Well, because it ruins the structure of a match, but it's great that she did it. And there's another one. Oh yeah. Oh god, I was really on one of my notes here. I was like, I said Saki's kind of like a metaphor for neoliberal capitalist society, because when Shuri's stuck in a submission hold, she won't actively help her, but she will shout at her to like pull herself up by her bootstraps and escape herself. So I don't know. I don't have any sensible notes. I just enjoyed it. And then she spent half the match lying on the side like a corpse. So yeah, it was great. Yeah, really good final match for her.
Yeah, definitely loved it. Real highlight of the Korakuen show. Either way, we had her retirement ceremony 3 days later. She's finally can chill for a bit. Obviously, she was very broken down, I think, towards the end. You could really tell, like, in her last matches as well. I think maybe that just laying around wasn't just a shoot. It wasn't just a comedy spot. Maybe she was just really towards the end of her strength. I think she had a lot of problems, but it's never really like out in the open with like wrestlers in Japan what exactly their medical issues are, but obviously she has been missing a lot of time throughout the last couple of years, months on end at times where she just wasn't there and had her issues, but she deserves a great retirement. She deserves a great healthy life because she's one of the greatest funniest comedy wrestlers to ever do it. Her retirement is kind of like, I'm kind of like twofold on this because like on one hand it was like just perfectly Saki Kashima, right? It was like one guest, it was one video message and the fastest 10 count in the world, and then was basically just over. She cut a cool promo, I think. I don't know exactly what she said, but it sounded like a very, very energetic promo actually for her, and I think she's happy with it. Obviously, her guest was one Big Tom Ish, who she's apparently a very big fan of. She loves Tomohiro Ishii, and she was legit moved by it too. She was in tears from that, and that was very heartwarming and very great. Maybe let's start with her entrance. She was rolled down the entrance ramp with a cart. I don't know who did it. It was like some backstage worker. I was wondering if that was the singer, but I don't think so.
It was a Stardom backstage worker. I don't remember the name though.
Yeah, because the singer is a Bushiroad backstage worker as well, I think. But it wasn't her. When I saw her close, I was sure it wasn't her. But yeah, on the one hand, it's kind of like, obviously it felt kind of disappointing. I thought maybe they would have more for her, more like special guests, maybe some more people from her first class. We saw Nanai on the Korakuen the other day. I was sure she was gonna come out here too. I thought maybe the roster's gonna come out and chill with her for a bit, but like none of that sort really. It was just Tomohiro Ishii and one video message, and that was over basically, which fits to Saki. So I can't say it was like disappointing or anything, but I did kind of imagine more would be happening. I don't know how you guys felt about it.
I really enjoyed it. I mean, it was, as you say, it was a bit under, but then that's kind of Saki's thing, right? Under, like, intentionally under delivering.
Yes.
And it obviously like had. I mean, I suppose all Japanese ceremonies like this, but it did feel like it had quite a lot of Tanahashi parody in it. I think what she was saying, I think Walker did translate it. It was that like she was like pretending she has all these like serious injuries and can't possibly go on, stuff like that. Obviously the high speed ring bell was really fun. But one thing I took away is I hope this is right. I think Gav was telling me that she's got a caring degree and she's going to care for elderly people. And I kind of, in my head, I love that because I've just got this image of her like cracking up old men until her dying day with like silly jokes and dirty jokes and stuff. So I think that's kind of perfect. So but I really enjoyed it. But it's like a little thing. It's hard. I don't have too many comments.
Yeah, I also don't have many comments. There was like a non-zero number of fans that were there just for that retirement. I'll tell you that.
I can believe that too. She has a lot of fans. She calls them her ATM. There was one in the front row who had like his ATM sign. That was very fun too. Yes. After the retirement, we have the what was it called?
Drunkers Crash
hardcore tag team match between Rina Yamashita and Suzuki against Hi Mate, which is Hanako and Maika, who are not in a faction. This was fun. This was cool. This was kind of also a match of like two stories for me. I thought the beginning was kind of silly. I felt like they had to get all the silly spots out of their system, like when they like do the sword fight with the chairs, which is never something I really like, or when they do the silly spot when Hanako has the ladder around her head and spins and the others are just stupidly walking into her. Suzuki was just like fucking wandering into the ladder. It looked kind of fucking silly. But once they had all the silly spots out of their system, they fucking started murdering each other, and then it was fucking on. And
it was only a couple minutes.
Sick. It was
like the silly stuff wasn't that long at all. It was like maybe 10% of the match. Yeah.
You're right. But like, yeah, but I just thought it started a bit silly, you know. But then when like the real fucking hardcore match started, it was insane, kind of. I think a lot of people who were upset at like dangerous spots will not like it. There was, of course, the table spot with Suzu, which was kind of reminiscent of the NXT spot that went viral in the same week, where like Suzu clipped the second table, maybe just do one table, I don't know. They also decided to like pull the mats out of the way, maybe so the tables are more stable, but also, of course, then Suzu lands on the concrete underneath, which is fucking psycho. Obviously, at the very start, they had 4 beer cans. Rina and Suzu brought them into the ring because obviously they know Maika. They know Maika and Hanako are big fans of the cold one every now and then. So they prosted Kampai and started battering each other with the beer cans. But that wasn't the end for the beer cans, because Rina Yamashita and Suzu would take the beer cans and rip them apart and use them as fucking knives on Hanako and Maika's foreheads, which was pretty gruesome. I imagine that's not the greatest way to gig, because like when you have like a little gig, like a little razor blade, you can make like a precise like incision underneath the hairline where like it's all clean and well. If you use a fucking ripped up beer can, I don't know if this is the cleanest cut you're gonna get. Maybe this is what scars you. We'll see on Hanako maybe. Hanako, maybe we should mention the gear too. Hanako and Maika had these cool like camo pants and tops going for them. Hanako dyed her hair blonde. We would soon find out why she did that, because it was more like strawberry color by the end of it, completely soaked in blood. She had a good 7 or 8 on the Muta scale going during this match, and she lost a lot of blood. I think her cut at one point kind of stopped, but then she got walloped with a chair in the face, which kind of reopened everything, and then she fucking started squirting blood almost. It was like crazy how much she bled towards the end of the match again. And like there were several like sick chair shots to the head and stuff, and just crazy shit going on. Yeah, I'm gonna let someone else talk. Who wants to?
You also
talk about
maybe you
match?
did. I don't know. Did you mention her bleaching her hair blonde just
Yes.
for this match? And yeah, I don't know if it's a 7-8 remove scale. Those blade job was fucking insane live. There was a spot where Rena was biting the wound and she spit out the blood and it was like a fountain. And I don't know if that made the broadcast, but I visibly saw the blood, like the Triple H spot, when he spits out water, but with blood. Rena did that in live. I saw it.
Please call it the Hangman spot. Come on.
Oh, sorry, Hangman spot, sure.
Why are you always saying Triple H? Hangman literally did that with
just
blood
the first
also.
thing I think of. I don't know. I don't really remember. I have vague memories of that Hangman match. Is that the Texas Death with Swerve, the first one in November 2023? Okay, yeah.
Yes.
I haven't rewatched that since I watched it the first time. So. Yeah, no, it was insane, this match. I do not care if they keep feuding, to be honest, because I like all of the matches they have. So why would I care that they keep feuding? The crowd loved it, and the chair spot, that you mentioned, was that got such a huge reaction for like what maybe you'd consider like maybe a basic spot getting hit with a chair, but that got a huge reaction. I thought it was funny that Susan was the only one that didn't play, and then she did the table spot. So, but no, I loved this match a lot.
I did too. Which chair shot you guys talking about? Because the one that really I thought was like scary as hell, and cool, was the one where like Hanoku's charging and Suzu kind of like underhand baseball swing. Yeah, I thought that the bar of the chair was. I checked on the GIF, but like I thought it was so close to like completely destroying it with the actual metal bar part, but like just getting it perfectly right. Other things to note. I agree with Tim. I love the way they did their Street Fight gear with the taking just the top of your outfit, mixing with camo. That was really cool. La Vida Loca actually also had an incredible light show, I thought, which is not what you're expecting necessarily. The other thing is when the match started, my first thought was like, oh no, because I saw Micah with the big fan, and I thought we were getting another kind of one of those kind of hardcore matches. But no, as you say, they kind of got the nonsense out of the way. Like they literally went from hitting each other with an empty bouquet of flowers to stapling the roses to people's heads. So, and then knee striking so hard the flower came off of Hanako's head. So that was pretty sick. And yeah, obviously Micah did a really nice superplex off the ladder, and she didn't. I was saying I'm quite relieved she didn't do the stalling one, because I think they were way too slick with blood for that to have worked. So that was good. But that was good. Mostly I had the same notes as you. I think one of my favourite moments. It wasn't the sick chair shot; it was the more safe one. But I just love that Suzu did like a super patronising, like Hanako-chan chant before destroying her with a chair. Just like being a right dickhead till the end. I did think she looked a bit out of it at the end with the tequila shot and the finish looking a bit messy. But I think that might have been because she just whacked her head on the table and then the floor. But yeah, I love this match too.
Well, Hanako was outstanding in this match as well.
Plausible.
So I thought it was literally one of her best performances. I mean, backstage they were talking about rematching La Vida Loca. like I said, I think it's funny that they keep having blow-off matches and then keep having more matches. That is hilarious to me. I want them to continue this bit. So,
all right. I do wanted to mention I forgot about the stapling the roses. That was also sick. I do think staplers are very underrated weapons in death matches or in hardcore matches, because they barely hurt, actually. But it's like this gruesome thing that everyone has. Like, I feel like everyone can imagine how fucking like I don't know. It's like almost like a nightmare reaction for people to imagine getting stapled, because everyone has a stapler and then like I don't know. I feel like that's like a nightmare scenario for a lot of people. But if you actually do it, it's really like nothing. Makes like these two tiny holes in your skin and nothing more. So I think more people should use staplers, is my point, because it's super safe. It doesn't hurt at all, and it looks like it's a nightmare for most people. Anyway, anything more on this hardcore match?
9.
I think we gotta go a bit. Maybe we're a bit behind in our schedule. We have the IWGP Women's Title match: Megan Bayne versus Shuri. This is where I couldn't decide if I liked this better or Fuwa-chan and Saori Anou. I think I'm higher on Shuri and Megan Bayne, actually. I thought this was
close, yeah.
very, very
this is my
great
third one,
too.
so it's close.
Yeah. Do you want to talk about it?
Not really. I mean, the match was great, as we all know. The crowd got really into the last few minutes, which made this match like pick up again. Like, if you're like waiting how much of a match carries how good it is, the last few minutes here did a lot of lifting. They were like excellent last few minutes. Yeah, I thought the setup for the finish was kind of dumb. Well, I don't know if it wasn't finished. It was like a signature spot just before the finish, where she was like on the turnbuckle, and then she was just like showing her back to Siri. Obviously that's for the top rope German, where she like landed on the front. Yeah, the setup was a bit stupid, but it was an insane bump still. So
Okay.
Yeah, exactly. But I just thought they had the crowd in the palm of their hand in the last few minutes, where they were like living, dying with every near fall, and that's what a great IWGP title match should have. So
I think like the pivotal moment in this match for me, and why they actually got me too, because I was like going in, I was 100% sure he's gonna win, right? No way.
I guess.
When Megan
can I guess?
just randomly kicked out Shuri's.
Can I guess?
Well, yeah.
Is it
Yeah, I
when
guess.
she caught the buzzsaw kick and then did a rotating powerbomb into the bow down? Okay, go on. Oh,
Yes, maybe. I mean, that's after the pivotal moment. The pivotal moment for me was when Megan just randomly kicked out of Shuri's finish, which is like the one-winged angel into Emerald Flosion type deal. I never know what she calls it.
Shu Sakai, I think.
That's when my mind kind of switched to, wait, why would she just randomly do this move and let Megan kick out after, like in the middle of the match too? It wasn't like even in the finishing stretch or whatever. And then I started thinking like, what the fuck? What if Tony Khan actually fucking politicked this to get like this title onto Megan until like Forbidden Door or whatever? Because also Megan is like a champion in AEW right now. So I thought maybe they had to, maybe she can't lose right now because champions in AEW usually don't really lose on like outside dates anymore. So all these thoughts all of a sudden went into my head when Megan kicked out of Shuri's big finish. And from that point on, I was like completely, it was kind of like the Saya SLK match in a way, where like from after the finger dislocation, I wasn't sure anymore what the actual outcome of this match is gonna be. And that like spiced it up for me as well, like 10 times, just from that moment on. And yeah, she did this fucking, Megan at one point powerbombed. No, that was Shuri, I think, powerbombed Megan from the turnbuckle. That was sick too. And yeah, there was also the swinging DDT. Wait. Yeah, Megan did the big powerbomb, and then she also did a swinging DDT on Shuri. I don't know. I don't think it was a DDT, but I suck with move names. It was more like, I don't know what to call it. And Shuri kicked out so late, like my heart was fucking in my stomach. It was crazy. Yeah, and this match just fucking ruled from then on. This big flying lariat Megan does looks always so awesome, and they just fucking threw bomb after this. And it was kind of incredible. I really loved this match. David?
Yeah, me too. I really liked it. I mean, interesting. Sounds like me and Eric might disagree because I thought this is going to be weird because I actually enjoyed every single move they did up until the finish. But I thought they slightly missed the peak. Like I thought around the satellite DDT, it sounded like the crowd had like absolutely peaked at that point. Then it was a bit flatter for the next few spots, even though I really liked the submission finish. But anyway, that's just general. I thought like maybe could have ended like a minute earlier, but that hardly matters. I like the general storyline a lot of like Shuri having to land like 3 or 4 of all of her moves for like one of Megan's And also, but I also liked how like serious she is as a threat, obviously. So like anytime Megan tried to do any like show off bullshit, like she tried to do a walk you around the ring stalling suplex, and that's when Shuri like gets the momentum back with the swinging DDT on the floor. I thought that was a very cool. But I think my favorite spot of the match, there's loads of them, but I actually really liked just a silly little thing, which was like Shuri hits one of her signature moves. I can't remember which one. And Megan's doing like the zombie sit-up thing, or the Hulk up sit-up, which you're meant to be like, you know, like, especially in American wrestling, everyone's scared when that happens. And Shuri just does one of her like demented buggy eye screams back in her face. And it's just, I just thought that was awesome. I love Shuri for that. And her selling in general, I thought was excellent. She's so good at being like sympathetic but not weak, which is like really hard to do. So, yes. I don't want to, we've talked a lot, so I don't want to add too much, but I really enjoyed this.
Okay. Yeah, I should say I did think it was an excellent match up until this point as well, but that just kind of turned it on its head on me. So that was like, I did really enjoy the match before that as well. I totally agree with you there. There was a sick German from Shuri. When Shuri Germaned Megan, that was a big pop for me too. She first kicked her in the head and then did like a release German to Megan. That looked insane.
Oh, I was going to say as well, Megan, for a powerhouse big wrestler, she's really good at comboing moves together, which is not normally a big wrestler trait. So that's a big plus for her.
No, that's true. Yes.
Megan's underrated.
Okay. After this, Shuri won, by the way, in the end. Anyway, Megan tapped out to her, actually, with like Shuri's crazy triple submission thing. I don't know. We had the tag team title match, Goddesses of Stardom. It was Neo Genesis, Azumi and Miyu Masaki, finally ending the reign of terror from Natsuko Tora and Ruaka. They had these belts for like, I don't know, 9 months, 10 months, 11 months, I don't remember. The highest drawing tag team champions in Stardom history, they finally lost. I have to admit, I had to rewatch this match today because during the live broadcast, I was getting really tired during this and couldn't like concentrate. I think my mind was already in the main event, which is also why the next match suffered for me on my initial viewing. I do have to say on second viewing, I liked this match a lot more. That helped a ton that I decided to rewatch this today. I think it was actually structured really well. On my initial viewing, I thought this went way past its peak. I think this went like 5 minutes after it should have ended. But it wasn't actually that bad on my second viewing. I didn't think it was that bad at all. I thought it was really well structured, actually. And I think my hot take, I have a really hot take on this one. Are you ready?
Yeah, go on.
I think Ruaka looked really good in this match. I think she was locked in for this. I think this was one of the best performances I've ever seen from Ruaka. Actually, she was on time on everything. She was in the right positions on everything, and she threw some sick ass lariats. She did some really good things in this match. She even had some really good forearms to Azumi at one point. Obviously, kind of the story of the match towards the end, especially, was Miyu Masaki coming through. Overcoming all the hate shenanigans, and in the end pinning Natsuko Tora for the win. Or did she pin Ruaka? No, it was Tora. Which meant that Azumi kind of stayed out of it, except for a couple of high spots. Obviously, I think Azumi is the way better wrestler, so maybe it would have made for a better match if Azumi took the amount of ring time that Miyu Masaki got. I do, however, think it makes a lot of sense for them to do that. I think obviously they want to push Miyu Masaki. I think Miyu Masaki is incredibly popular to the fan base, and they wanted to give her the spotlight. Azumi doesn't really need it anymore. She is a made wrestler at this point, and Miyu Masaki getting all this like hype leading up to the match. She had an incredible Cinderella run and has looked really good in the last few weeks and months. And has made really big improvements, so I didn't mind it. I do obviously think if Azumi was more in there, the match would have just been a bit tighter, probably. But I liked it a lot on second viewing. What are your thoughts?
think that the storyline kind of necessitated Miyu to be there, and I actually don't think it would be a better match with Azumi in there, because I think part of why a match is good, right, is part of the storyline. And I think Miyu's booking and her performances, as you've said, were great, and I think she was the logical choice for dethroning BMI 2000. I think, like you said, Miyu needed the credibility more. So I know what you're saying in terms of being tighter, and I guess like the moves, but as a wrestling match, I think it's better with Miyu in there, if that makes sense. Which I think you probably agree with, right? Yeah.
No, that makes sense. I meant purely from a like fucking work rate.
Yeah, but who cares about that?
Whatever you
right?
want to call it, standpoint. From a moves,
from a move
standpoint,
but that's not what this type
cares?
of match is. I actually agree with you on Raka. I thought,
That's true.
but I think we noticed this in a preview match. I don't remember, but I think we noticed that when Izumi works with Raka, they are both pretty good together, and that's kind of what they did here. They were paired off, and I thought they had some really cool sequences that I noted down at least. So, yeah,
Azumi closes a lot of the because Azumi closes a lot of the distance, so Raka doesn't have to move as much. I don't mean that in an insulting way to Raka.
Yeah.
I just think it really helps.
Yeah,
That's true. Also, Azumi obviously bumps like a maniac for these lariats from Worker, so the lariats automatically look sick when someone bumps like
exactly.
that.
So the pairings they chose in this match, I loved. I loved that Natsuko was the one to take the pin as well. You know, everyone knows how high I am on Natsuko and how good she is at making people look good. And the fact that she was the one putting me over as well was awesome as well. I did think out of like all of the matches that I've said that were awesome. So like from Saori and Fuwachan onwards, this was the weakest for me in terms of like, you know, how much I enjoyed it live. But that doesn't mean it was bad. Like there was an insane run of matches. Like I mentioned, from Saori all the way to the main event. It was kind of like All-Star Grand Queendom last year, except a bit lower, because obviously you had Mei Suzu kicking off that run of matches, and that's like an all-timer match. So it didn't peak as high, this run of matches, but they were like all awesome. But this was like the least awesome of the awesome matches for me personally, and because I don't have that connection to Miyu Yamasaki. But if I did, like, they probably did this like as well as they possibly could have.
Yeah, and Eric's kind of taking essentially my notes here too, in that I thought I was going to, in response to what Tim said, I was going to say the same. I think Miyu had to be at the end here because of the storyline of the overall night. And this is one of the matches where I think there's aspects that I wasn't so keen on that I retrospectively like, having seen them go all the way through the storyline to the end of the night, which is that essentially Hate had all of their antics, except for spinning, thwarted on this card. So they had to do everything. They had to do all the interference, the box bollocks, which I hate. The mist is fine. I don't mind the mist. But they did all of the nonsense, which would normally annoy me, especially I really don't like the box throwing, especially because the box looks so weak. But the whole point was that they were overcoming it, and it was the new generation doing it. So I'm here for that. I did think they missed the peak in this one though, not because of the interference, but because I think the lifting DDTs looked really impressive because they were so hard to do. And I can't remember what they did. I think they just did they do like one backdrop and then into the butterfly X Factor thing? I just thought it was really redundant. So I would have just ended it on the more impressive physical thing. Sound like you're going to say something.
I feel like at one point, Natsuko Tora failed really to get up for Miyu's move, so they kind of repeated that sequence, is the feeling I got. And that's why it came off like kind of redundant and too much in the end. I do agree it still missed the peak, but not by as much as I thought on my first viewing. I was just kind of impatient on the live viewing with this match because I wanted to get to the main event in a way, and I was getting super tired. But
there was also a Rev Pro incident almost with the barricade. They were just
barricade.
bowling people into those barricades, and they were just getting knocked into the fans. I saw it got knocked into like the ankle of a fan, the barricade, and he was complaining for like 5 minutes afterwards. Not to any staff, he was just talking to the person next to him, pointing at his ankle, pointing at the barricade again and again. But he didn't like make a fuss or stink of it. And then it happened again on the other side, but that person was completely fine. They weren't hit as hard, but yeah, that was a bit scary.
But I was just going to say, just for other notes, I mean, I will agree with Tim that I thought Azumi was like completely out of this world in this match because he's only really mainly focused in the beginning part, and I've got so many all caps stuff for her. But to be honest, all of the sequences I thought they were really good. Like they did like a run up Miyu's back superplex sequence, which Tora then broke up by doing the fireman's carry slam of Miyu onto Azumi, which I thought was awesome. And there's all kinds of intricate stuff. But my actual singular favourite thing in the whole match, and it's such a Tora thing, she did like the grossest standing senton squish, but then she did the lazy girl cover where she's like,
she just died.
No offense, she's like a beached whale stuck on her, and she's just like, fuck it, this is how I'm going to pin her.
I noted that down.
And it looked like the best pin of all time.
I love that so much.
Like Miyu legit had to like shove her like lifeless body out of the way to get out of the pin. Like she really tested Miyu there.
But Miyu was really good in this too, though. I thought she was like for her level.
She was.
Like I noticed her like doing the Rings of Saturn. I thought she was like super aggressive, which I'm not used to seeing from her. Just I say we're quite deep into the show, so I won't go too much. But I just thought her performances were really excellent, and I'm actually just I'll let one of you talk, and I'm going to see, because I know Adam Summers really liked the show. I'm going to see if he actually paid her a compliment or not. So you guys continue.
I actually
I was just going to go to the post match, but you want to say something?
Yes, no, that's actually what I was going to mention as well.
So O2 Line were super nice to BMI. They were like saying that they raised the value of the belt, and that O2 Line now want to make it even more prestigious now. And that kind of plays into like the press conference. Remember that I was talking about how nice Natsukatora was to O2 Line, and that they both want to like face each other again and again. So they kind of have like a not very hate-like rivalry, specifically these two teams, which I think is kind of interesting. And then Azumi kind of referenced the Dark Miyu stuff, so the social media controversy. She didn't explicitly say it, but she said they've been through so much in 5 years, and that there were some unpleasant things with Miyu and sad things. And then that's when Azumi started to break down and cry. And then Miyu just sort of like embraced her and then closed out the promo like a boss. Like Miyu was so good in this post match. Like Azumi's obviously the veteran, and Miyu's like, "Hey, don't worry about it," you know. And then she closed it off. I thought that was awesome.
Yeah. Okay, that makes sense. That makes more sense now. I mean, it didn't not make sense that Azumi would start crying in the post match. Like I just thought the title meant a lot of her, but it's a lot to her, but that makes sense. Yeah, I just thought like Azumi, like at first when she had the title and Miyu cut the first part of the promo, Azumi almost looked like kind of detached from the whole situation, and then when as soon as she started talking, she broke out into tears. That was very touching. It makes it even more kind of with the context. Yeah, that's awesome. That's wholesome.
You good, David?
Yeah, the way they embraced each other too.
Yeah, I'm good. No, Adam thought this was the worst match, and he thought it was 5 minutes too long, so he didn't say anything nice about Miyu. But I thought he might have. But no.
Classic.
All right.
We'll get it. He'll like it one day.
It was over 23 minutes. That is a pretty long match. After this, we had the white belt match, Wonder of Stardom. It was Hanan finally ending the great title run of Konami. This was my lower match of this run of great matches.
Yeah, fair enough.
I just felt something was kind of missing towards the end. I felt Konami's previous title defenses had a lot more of a like epic or fantastic like finishing stretch. I liked the finish. It was very decisive from Hanan. She just put her away with like a series of her backdrop suplexes. I also liked how they got into the wrist clutch suplex. Actually, that was kind of like Konami taking a misstep, trying to kick Hanan, and Hanan dodged it and kind of caught Konami's hand in the wrist clutch. It looked really good, actually, the way they got to the wrist clutch backdrop suplex that in the end finished the match. But like this high fever pitch of a finishing stretch that she had against Rina or her sister Hina wasn't really the case in this match for me. I did think Hanan was really good in this match. As the babyface, she sold very well for Konami's work on her arm. Konami was obviously excellent working over Hanan's arm. At the start of the match, she did this excellently, but Hanan did her part and just screaming her head off for everything Konami did. So I really like Hanan's like babyface fire in a way. Yeah, but it didn't quite reach the heights previous Konami white belt defenses did for me.
Those are high heights though, because she had a fucking all-time
obviously
run. So I thought this match was
Yes.
awesome. I think maybe even I mean obviously I don't know because I haven't seen it from home, but live I thought this match was really really fucking good. Like really really great. The yeah.
Oh, can I? One more note I have is like, obviously, I thought it was perfectly structured in a way. They did everything they had to do to finish and to play into the story. That was a really good part of the match, I thought. The way they played into everything. But sorry, Hugo.
Yeah, so after I think you mentioned like the backdrop to Konami literally on top of her head, the most beautiful QT special in the game by Hanan. After that point, Rina stole the white belt from Okada. I don't know how much they showed on TV, but she just yoinked it from Okada, and Okada was just kind of fucking like trying to get it back. And then a few seconds later, that's what led to the spot where Konami got the white belt, and I was like, "What? That happened so fucking quickly!" And it's just when you're there live, it's like, "Holy shit, that happened so quickly!" Everyone knows exactly what they need to do for that spot to get pulled off. So I just thought it was cool seeing that interference from start to finish. I thought the paint can was a great spot. So. It was awesome payoff, and it got a huge reaction as well. And obviously, then she hit the
crowd
was
popped
a big
hard.
pop, and then there was a big backdrop, but it wasn't the holding one. So they're kind of protecting that the backdrop, the holding backdrop. Then she did the hold, and that's what led to the ref bump, right? So they are protecting that. Me and the crowd bit on that. Okay, we thought that backdrop hold was the finish. And then there was like the photo frame bonk, and I thought Konami's selling here was outstanding. Where she looked panicked. I don't know how much made the live broadcast. So I could clearly see her face. She was panicking. She was trying to get the paint out of her eyes because she hated the paint being in her eyes because she'd done it to someone else. She was like, "Wow, I fucking hate this." She was like clawing at her eyes. She was selling that she couldn't see properly. It was so good, and I was so invested. Then obviously Hanan hits the Heat Seeker. What name do you want to call it, Tim? I know you don't want to call it the Heat Seeker.
Oh, I've got that written down. I wrote no, mine's worse. I wrote Slingshot Pedigree.
Oh my god. Okay, I don't know which one we want out.
But it was an amazing.
Oh,
spot.
that one, the one MJF does.
He calls it Heat Seeker.
I don't care if you call it Heat Seeker.
Okay, well, whatever. I call it the Heat Seeker.
Whatever. I wouldn't know any other
But Hanan
name.
wouldn't
What
want
did I
heat,
call
though,
it?
would she?
Let me
It'd be
see.
like Sunshine.
Yeah. Exactly. But whatever that was, that also the move itself got a big pop because I don't. Does she use that move?
She fucking Konami landed on her head like hard. She took that bump insanely.
Yeah. Remind my foggy ill brain right now. Is that like something she does regularly, or was it?
I don't think so.
It was a debut,
I'm
right?
not
That's
sure.
what I thought it was.
Before? Yeah,
Maybe
it's
it was
either a
a debut
debut or
for
it's like
them.
the second time effort. It's not.
Yeah,
Not a regular move for sure.
Yeah, but Konami's bump on top of that being a newish move got a huge pop. Then I got like noted down like she kicked out of like the second backdrop hold, I believe, and I was like, oh, okay, now it's heating up. And that's actually the finish was like soon after. So I think maybe a lot of people thought it went long, or when I logged into Cage Match, which I just never do after the show, I saw it had like a 5.5. I assume now it's much higher. But people get. I mean, that is fucking ridiculous. I'm sorry.
That's crazy. The ratings for this
it's just
show
because interference just turns people off. Like there's like no nuance about this. I thought it was heating up just before the finish. I thought they could have gone literally another 3-4 minutes, and the crowd would have been invested in every single second of it. I thought the finish was sick. Hanan dodging the kick, obviously, and then grabbing the waist for the super finisher. I thought it was perfect. I thought this was an awesome match.
Yeah.
Maybe second bottom of the
also
awesome matches. So I would have this above the Goddess titles, but they're all awesome. So
yeah, I got those two flipped, but it's like they're all awesome. That's true.
I
think not to stay on the topic of like stupid cage match or whatever. I think just a lot of most people who like really like Stardom and actually enjoy the product just aren't on Cage Match anymore since they implemented that stupid like Stardom specific rule that you can't vote on matches anymore in a 24-hour span because they fucking lost their minds, couldn't believe Stardom is actually having good matches or whatever. That was the stupidest fucking thing Cage Match ever did, but I think that's a big part of why the ratings are just kind of weird for Stardom since then. Sorry, David.
Yeah, I was just going to give my take because I think it's really interesting because we've somehow alighted on 3 completely different takes with some minor crossover. So I agree with Tim's rating of the match over his overall impressions, but I completely disagree with why. And obviously Eric's way higher on it than me, but I liked pretty much the exact same bits as him, but with a slight tweak. So I thought the beginning, even though Konami was doing her thing and Hanan was doing her thing, I just thought it just felt a bit flat and sleepy and wasn't quite, I don't know, I didn't think of like it was going through the gears or telling the usual story in the way it would. So I found the beginning like not bad, just like well, solid, wrestled, decent match. And I wasn't super hooked. This was the one where all the kind of gaga nonsense stuff, I loved it. I thought it like had the crowd going absolutely crazy suddenly. So I was into all of the interference. And so unlike Eric, I thought they peaked this perfectly after I think Eric, Walker called it the double dangerous backdrop near fall, and then into, oh God, I wrote fucking amazing finish, but I didn't write what the finish was. So for me, this like I've got this peak perfectly, and I thought it turned a quite sleepy crowd into like a really feral crowd, and really into Hanan in the moment of winning as well. So yeah, so like similar rating to you, but Tim by the sounds of it, but like completely different take.
Yeah. I guess I was saying that they did, and they could have gone, like the crowd were with them for even more, I guess. It's not that they could have had more if they wanted to, but they still did. It was like the start of the peak, I guess, is what I'm saying. They did peak, but there was a longer peak to come if they wanted it. I think the super finisher was the wrist clutch backdrop hold, so I thought it was...
That's it, yeah.
Yes.
Oh, and I've got to say...
I
No, you go, Tim. My point's silly, so you go.
All right. Yeah. I was just. I called it I called it a draping DDT between the legs.
Ah, of course, you wouldn't want to use MJF's name.
Brutal.
Yeah.
I was thinking when I saw it, I didn't even think of MJF honestly, but whatever. Yeah.
I was just going to say, like, I thought it was the biggest contrast I thought in the match was the entrances, because I thought Konami looked awesome and had like, I forgot what they call it on the red carpet, the glam bot, like slow motion panning of her like vampire queen look. And on the other hand, Hanan, I love her, but like, oh my God, like why add blue to the top of the hair? And then also seemed like an oversized, untailored ring jacket she'd added. Like, I don't know. I say it's part of her charm that she's so uncoordinated compared to her sisters. But I mean, biggest show of the year, and you kind of had decent hair for the Cinderella, and then you've added washed out blue in the middle. I don't know.
Yeah, it wasn't my favorite either.
But I hear this match,
the blue.
I was just going to say, I hear this match had an eventful post match. So.
Emmy is gonna hate us for that, by the way. I think she loved the blue.
Oh no, I'm sorry.
It's her color. Whatever. I think she called the hair perfectly iridescent or something like that.
Well,
which I had to look up what it meant.
I like the blue mist on Miyu and Masaki. I think that probably powered her up, given that she's the blue.
Oh yeah, the Smurf face. That's always highlight. She did a double mist, by the way. She missed the first mist and then she did another mist. That was kind of cool. Anyway, yes, post-match, we had, of course, the great celebration of the Happy Faction stars with everybody's favorite turn happening.
Well, just before that, she announced herself as the leader of stars, which obviously we knew, but she did officially do that.
Didn't she do that already?
No, she said now she has the white belt. She said that she's the leader of stars. I mean, that's what she said. So,
I feel like when she kicked out FWC, she already called her. So
maybe it's double.
I thought they were like co-leaders. Yeah. Oh, I thought her and Saya said they were like co-leaders or something, or there were no leaders or something like that together. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, maybe I misremembered that.
Yeah. And then she did her new catchphrase, which is "Glory wing
Justice.
on the wings of glory, fly out," and then the crowd says "Justice." Yeah, so that's a mouthful.
Did you shout justice?
Okay.
I think I did actually. Yeah, I like
good
Hanan.
man.
Cool. How did you guys like P. Presley turning on stars?
Well, if I can go. Oh no.
You go first, David.
Well, I was just going to say, I'm going to briefly turn my camera on. How can you turn on Hanan while you're wearing her beautiful shirt?
Oh my god!
It's
that actually is a cool shirt. I like it.
How can you turn on her? Anyway, I'll turn my camera back off. I'm wearing the shirt that B was wearing when she turned on Hanan. For those listening at home,
Cool.
I suppose there was the slight credibility thing of it doesn't matter because it's wrestling. It's silly. So she's obviously decided to turn before the match because she's wearing the hate shirt under the Hanan shirt. But she's obviously decided to go the entire length of the match without helping Konami win. So waited for it to lose and then join. But all right. But no, I think B's better as a heel, so I enjoyed it. And having her be in the Ocean Cyclone suplex position for it was quite unique, quite fun.
Yeah. I'm actually wearing my Kurawa shirt right now. I won't turn my camera on, just gotta believe. But I thought for the celebration of the day.
When she was in the electric chair, I kind of figured. Well, I didn't figure. I said, I was typing it. I was like, it would be so funny if she gave her the Japanese Ocean suplex. I didn't think it was going to happen, but I just thought it would be a funny thing. And then, of course, it actually did happen. Yeah, I don't really like it because I was starting to like B as the mid carder, lower down the card, just having cool matches. And now she's going to get featured, like she's having white belt defense, and I just kind of don't want to see her push to that level, I guess. As long as I don't mind her having like being the first defense for Hanan, as long as she gets used like fucking Azusa afterwards, right? Just doing nothing. That's just kind of what I want for B Priestley. I just don't want her taking up creative, I guess.
Yeah,
Did you want to say something?
Oh yeah, I just assumed like similar to Maki Ito, she's just the person you can beat without too much fuss in the first defense. So I wasn't too bothered by that. But yeah, I do say one of the not to go back to it briefly, but the one cool thing about using the Cyclone Suplex was that it's such a really contrived move to get into in a match. But the one place where it's completely appropriate is when you're celebrating a victory, because you naturally it's the only time you naturally put someone up on your shoulders. So that or a well, no, don't do it at festivals. It's very annoying. But so I did like that touch. But yeah, anyway, sorry, Eric, or Tim, you were about to go.
I just think, like, obviously the culprit of it all is the hate shirt. If they would have sold me on this as like a spur in the moment decision, I would have totally understood it. I also agree B is probably better heel. And like people have been talking about her turning heel for like 7 months. Now it finally happens. Everyone's unhappy. I think obviously it's true that it doesn't make sense that she was hate the entire time, but didn't once try to help Konami. I would be kind of pissed if I was Konami. But she even like held hate members back and stuff during the match. So that's just your typical fucking dumb pro wrestling, illogicality. No, I don't think that's the word.
Yeah.
But usually like Stardom is a bit better than doing like the typical dumb illogical stuff that wrestling typically does. I'd like to think that at least. So it's kind of glaring.
They do have a big track record of doing that Vince Russo thing of in the unit, those matches where someone leaves a unit and joins the other unit of the person fake turning, unturning, and then turning again. They've done that a few times. That's
what Momo always does in those matches, right? Yeah, you're kind of right. In this specific thing, they always did the stupid wrestling stuff. With Natsupoi's one, I always felt like that was a spur in the moment decision too, which was cool. But like with Momo's, it was always the same kind of illogical. Yeah, I gotta take that back. You're absolutely right. Yeah. I think whatever. It's just the defense. I think it's a good first defense. It makes sense because she has a lot of history with Hanan now. Just built over the last year. I think it's interesting. Someone pointed this out that if you kind of paid attention to B in the last couple of weeks or months leading up to this match, she very often accidentally hit people, hit her own teammates in matches, which led to them losing and stuff. Like, I think if you look back, you can find one instance where B, quote unquote, accidentally hits her teammates in the house show matches over the past weeks, like in every single one of them. And I do remember this too. I do remember mentioning it a couple of times when we reviewed these matches. So they did kind of, without anyone really pinpointing it to that, they kind of actually, like, in a hidden way, built to this heel turn too. Anyway, is that it? I think we have one more match left. It's the World of Stardom title match. Sayaka Mitani vs Sayaka Kurara. What are your thoughts?
I went 5 stars on
it. I'm probably 5 stars
yeah,
too.
One of those. I actually want to say that.
Make it a set.
Just to like wrap things up, I guess. Just general thoughts on the show from pre-predictions to now, as in like what you thought about the card. So I kind of already said my one, which was there was an insane run of matches. Just like it's becoming like an All-Star Grand Queendom thing. Like there's just like so many good matches in a row. Like you heard us talk about how many awesome matches there were from Fuwa-chan onwards. Wasn't as high as last year, but the main event. It's just it's incomparable to the Town one, but it's in the same category. I don't really know how to put it. Like it feels like an appropriate All-Star Grand Queendom ending. You know what I mean? So
Yes.
that's how I would sum up the show. I thought it was a really good show, but until it got to the main event, I was just thinking this is a really good Stardom pay-per-view. And then the main event happened. I was like, I'm ready to combust.
I feel like they're both in this like special category of matches that just makes you feel a different way. Or at least me. It's like the polar opposite. While like last year's main event made me feel sad for like 2 weeks, this one made me like happy still. Let's see how long it lasts, but yeah, but just like the emotional impact these matches have is like something that's happening very rare for anything, but like great wrestling can do that, and that's sick. And these are like these types of matches that do that. Sorry, I interrupted.
Oh no, I was pretty much done.
Okay. No, I agree. All right. Do you have any overarching thoughts before we move on, Dave?
Yeah, I'll just say that, like, a quick wrapping up sentence, that I think when I went through on Cage Match and did my ratings, like, it wasn't like the super highest show. Like, I think I had 110, and then everything in the kind of not like mostly 8 range for the big stuff. But overall, I thought the show was like 10 out of 10. So I left with like a super happy glow. I was still feeling afterwards. So like, and all of the matches where I'm like, oh yeah, like technically there are like better matches, I ended up retrospectively liking them more, because seeing the downfall of Hate Story, like, and then thinking back on it once you've seen the ultimate crescendo, I liked it all more. So, and then the undercard stuff was super fun. And the Fuwa stuff match was excellent. So I really enjoyed it overall as Tocho, and it really stuck with me. And I'm not a person who particularly rewatches stuff, so I do just tend to go with the vibe. Like my match of the year, I do note down stuff that I've enjoyed, but it is very much what actually sticks in my memory, and I think this will for a long time. So it's pretty much locked in my show of the year so far. Even though I'd have to go through on paper and say, like, did I like it better than the Tokyo Dome? Maybe match for match, maybe not. I don't know. I can't remember. But yeah, as I say, the overall impression is I absolutely adored it.
I do agree. It's this weird thing, right? I would say the run of matches of last year's All-Star Grand Queendom was overall better. Even 2023, I would say, was better. just the match quality in itself. But like the feeling I have from this show, I wouldn't say it's like a more monumental show than last year or anything, but like I would give this show the highest ratings, even if I was, except for the main event, not that high on most matches.
Well,
except for like, the Saori one, the Shuri one. Like compared to like the fucking, it didn't have like, everything wasn't 4.75 or higher. I mean, they were all in like I don't know, I hate the ratings bit, but like the tag title match, the white belt match, they weren't as high for me, but overall the show was still like super high for me. I don't know how to explain it really, but you basically said it for me.
I was also going to say,
perfectly.
The thing that makes this show really unique for rating, or even like in a traditional sense, is that it is completely a continuation of last year's excellent show, at least in the main event angle. So that makes it so hard to divorce, because like obviously last year's ending was like super sad and great for us Sai fans, but this plays off that perfectly. So it's all a continuation of a story, and it's like when you're reading a series of books, like picking, and you love the series, like it's picking between like book 2 and book 3 is pretty arbitrary.
Also, the format, like we just said, like that historic run of matches, like it's just becoming part of the formula. And it's just difficult to compare to fucking Mei Suzu, Mayu, and Suri. Like even Starlight Kid and Azumi, people forget about that match from last year's All-Star Grand Queendom, and that was also Wingori and FWC, right? Which had the fucking the shoot stuff in there. Like you just can't compare it.
And
to
Mayu Iwatani was on the show, right? Was she? Or was that the year before?
Mayu and Shuri.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, I mentioned Mayu and Shuri.
Crazy. Oh, sorry, I've missed that.
Yeah. So, but anyway, so it's hard to just compare against that show. But as a standalone show, like it's my show of the year in 2026, like by far more than the Tokyo Dome one. But probably, I can understand people going for Tokyo Dome.
I would have to think about it. Like being there live, obviously you were live at both, so that's a different beast. I would have to really think about it. I'm gonna think about it at the end of the year. So I think we have to hold like a quick on-air production meeting. What the hell are we doing with this show?
I honestly was gonna call the same, and I don't know. It feels like a separate episode, to be honest.
I was almost thinking the same. The question is, can we record on another day?
Yes.
Do we have another day where we all have time? Because I also don't want David to have taken all these notes for nothing, you know?
Yeah.
The only tricky thing for me is, because I'm doing this today, I've pushed my study time to obviously tomorrow and other days. I probably could, but I don't know. It depends how long you think the rest will go. Which
we can do the rest.
4 hours.
We can do the rest, but we're just not going to be able to talk about anything for long. Like it would be like 5 minutes or 10 minutes for like each show max.
I'm not even sure if I could, because it is 1 a.m. for me. I'm getting super tired
German
right now.
time. Yeah, sorry, I forgot. Yeah, that's fine.
I do have to go to work tomorrow early, so I legit don't know if I even could do the rest, because it would end up at like 3:30 a.m. probably.
Yeah.
And I don't mind an episode this long, but I really just...
And you know what? I can do Wednesday or Tuesday, because I am off. So if you wanted to, I could. And also I did do quite a lot of notes, and I've got quite a lot of Marigold in particular. So
I watched the entire Marigold too. Yeah,
and I think I have some like
interesting
commentary on that might be.
I really wanted to talk about the Fortune Dream match as well.
Yeah.
The question is more about Eric, because his time zone is so fucked. Maybe we can like accommodate Eric better the next time. I don't know.
I'm fine
how.
with what you did today. I think.
All right, everybody. I'm gonna figure it out. I don't know if maybe I'll leave it in, little on-air production meeting. I don't know if you heard this or not. Whatever. We decided to cut this one short at 4 hours, because it's 1 a.m. over here in Germany and I have to go to work early tomorrow. So we decided to split this week's episode up into 2. You will get to hear the first one a bit earlier than usual, and the second one maybe on the usual time, which will be, I guess, episode 29B, with Marigold, Tokyo Toshi Pro, and the Indie Zone. you can look forward to that. Sendai Girls, Marvelous, Oz Academy, Ice Ribbon, 01, Rose, and Fortune Dream, which I enjoyed a lot. Spoiler. We will do all this on our second part of this episode. We unfortunately spent a little too much time on Stardom. But I want to thank David for coming on and for being flexible enough to do another show tomorrow. So thank you, David. And I'm going to head out to bed. I hope Eric is going to
head to bed too.
Chill and get better. Get well soon. I hope.
Thank you.
You will. And yeah, goodbye everyone. Give us a good rating and be excited for the next episode, like 1 or 2 days later.
Check out Social Suplex stuff. Thanks.
Yes, check out all the Social Suplex stuff. This isn't our official sign off for the week, so we do that on the next time.
Thanks, guys. Bye.
Have a good night. Bye.